I can't hear you right now.
I do hand stuff when I talk, Bosh.
Is that
hand
all you
gestures.
do? Oh, okay.
Welcome back to...
What were we talking? What was I going to tell you about?
The Matrix.
Oh, my philosophy... No, not that. My
Oh.
whole philosophy is, like, just choose a fucking name. And then from that, like, let the actual content within the thing speak for itself. You know?
Right.
Like, who cares what it's called if it's actually, like, got something... First word that came to mind was girth, but if it's got some heft to it is what I mean.
Okay.
If it comes to that, then yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it can't be like... You know
Pussy
what?
wiggler.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm not.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Has anything been new in your world?
Just had my last lab for BMS 302, which was really fun.
Was it though?
I mean, it was just on metabolism. One of our group members got to eat 200 milligrams of caffeine from military-grade gum, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
She said the group or the lab instructor kind of like came over to us and he was like, yeah, like it's gonna hit you pretty quick. Like you're not like you're gonna taste it like it's gonna be minty, but it's not really gonna hit you. And then he was like, after about like 5 minutes, 5 out of the 10 minutes that you're chewing it, they're gonna be like, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
And so my group member, she was just like chilling, just chewing the gum, whatever. And you just kind of like, it's kind of funny because when she talks, she doesn't like talk a lot. And then like progressively as I was timing her and we were just kind of like talking to her, like just to like pass time, you could just like slowly start to hear her talk more and more and more. And I was like, you're feeling it, aren't you? And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm feeling it a little. And I thought that was kind of funny.
So is that like metabolism with your body digesting caffeine? Obviously, then is that kind of how
It was
the whole
it was
lab
kind of just like metabolism as of like how your body like uses energy pretty much, like telemetry. It was kind of that, but it was like indirect with breathing.
like using energy to break down the caffeine.
It wasn't like digestion. It was just regular metabolism, like how your body like uses ATP as energy, and then the byproduct is usually heat, and just like how the body actually works, like how cells utilize ATP for energy.
Oh,
That metabolism.
Gotcha.
So not like just digestion.
try this.
Is this your kombucha?
This one turned out good. Kind of sweet,
I was gonna say that was sweeter than I was expecting.
right? I actually got most of the
But
vinegar out of it this
That
time.
was- That's pretty good. that was a lot sweeter than I was expecting, but yeah.
Dude,
I
one
enjoyed
before
it.
that was like drinking vinegar. I really fucked up the
Here.
recipe.
Try this.
What is? I'm gonna guess the soda actually. Ugh. Fuck.
It's not soda.
What is that?
Lemonade.
Yeah, the bad lemonade.
Yeah, it was from Subway.
Yeah, Subway lemonade.
Yeah. Kind of grody, low tier, fresh squeeze lemonade.
How do you think we can draw people in? Because I wonder if people will think we're want to be left alone, even though we're doing this in a public space,
I don't know. Maybe like make eye contact like last
like
time.
you did last time.
When I just looked over.
I was listening back and like listening to us talk about you standing up, and then you stand up, and you can hear him from across the room go.
Are you doing a podcast?
That was really good, actually. That was like eerily good.
Yes. Can we be in it? Sure, I don't care.
When's your group thing gonna be done?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Probably like 10, 11 maybe.
Oh.
Probably.
Fuck. Never mind.
It's like a bigger kind of group project because it's towards the end of the semester. So it's not like our final, but it's one project that we've been working on. Not almost a month, probably. So
Okay.
we're kind of putting some finishing touches on it.
Okay. I was gonna go climbing, but that will not be that late for me.
Yeah. If I can push,
I don't think it'll work.
I don't know if
You
I
don't
can
have to
push.
fit
I was
it in.
gonna say I don't know if I can push it back any farther.
Yeah. No. It's all good.
Or we could get a sign. Should be like,
get a sign.
come join our.
Oh,
podcast.
that'd be kind of cool. I didn't even think about
I was
that.
gonna say you could make a thing
advertise.
like out of that, like.
Oh, out of.
Well, then you'd have a lot of people around, and then like a line or whatever, and then it might be
That's
too
not a
much.
bad thing.
I mean, depending on what you want out of it.
It'd be cool just for people to walk up, but I know they don't really see that. I'm just checking if I had any ideas I wanted to share with you.
Oh, you know how we were talking about abs last time, right?
Oh, okay.
So we went over that section. We haven't done a lot of the movement analysis of it yet, but I asked my teacher about it, and she said it's not classified, that you can't really like do it in sections because it's just one muscle. But she said, depending on how you're working out, like the way I explained it to you last time, she was like, well, when you explain it like that, it makes sense, like depending on the range of motion,
Like long
of
head,
what-
short head
of, like
almost,
what
that we were talking about.
yeah, what exercise you're doing. And she was like, I can see how you doing that would work out different sections, and then but she was like, it's still like working out just like that one muscle.
Yeah.
So, and there's only that like one motion that you can do.
Yeah, which kind of debunks the targeting thing.
And also for your obliques, I learned that there's 3 sections of your obliques.
Oh, I
There's
think I knew
external
that.
oblique, internal oblique, and then there's transverse oblique.
Yeah.
Transverse, you can't really work it out. It's
Even
just
in the
kinda
transverse plane?
no. It's basically, she described it as like it's a muscle, but it's just to like keep things in. And she said it kind of helps respiratory stuff too. But she said you can't really work that one out.
Here's a thought I had, not relating to what you just said.
I just had to tell you that because I
that's
remembered
helpful,
about it.
because it's actually coming from a professor, which is nice. But our intuitions were kind of leading to the right thing, where
I was going to say, I feel like we were both kind of...
at the right spot, roughly. Yeah. So doing the full range of motion, you hit everything, just like doing a full bicep curl. You could do small emphasis stuff, but it's not necessarily needed.
Yeah.
I guess would be a good rule of thumb, right? Yeah. Here it is. You need to have your health in order to have your mind in order, to produce 99 projects that will fail in order to learn and evolve to have one project that works.
I do like the 99 problems or projects part, because the best teacher is learning from failure. So I definitely like that part. But I feel like, I don't know if it's really centralized on anything, which it doesn't need to be, but that might be too much to have just one project work, if you know what I mean.
Too much in what sense?
As of like, you need to have 99 like products or procedures or whatever you're doing to learn from your failures, just to have one work. I feel like that might not, like, for a person that maybe has lower self-esteem, kind of needs to see like progress or like something actually succeed in their doings, instead of failing so many times and then having one thing work for them.
But that operates in a reality of fairness,
Yes,
and reality is not fair.
that is true.
So that's why this is more grounded, in my opinion.
Don't be pussies.
Well, in a sense, but also like, I think especially I see this applicable to a lot of men in general. I guess that's where my headspace has been at. But like, you got to get your health in order, and that's something you can do, and that's very good for you, because anybody can move their corpse to the gym and move some weights around and then call it a day. And that's a good start, and then you can start building on that. And then as long as you get proper recovery in, then after that recovery, your brain gets better for that, because you're exercising your body, which helps with the brain as well. And once you get your mind in order to put it onto something that you want to make, this is more of like a creative endeavor, you know, most projects are going to fail. So it's more just a rule of thumb, like 99% are going to fail. But then you just need one to hit, is my thought behind that. And so hopefully you take all those 99 projects that failed, learn and evolve, and then you just need that one project to hit, you know? And then after that works, then you can have that kind of self-feed itself into its own feedback cycle, because that hit, and you can build off of that on other things that hit.
plus that one will be that much better because each time you try one, and then supposedly fail in one aspect, but the other aspect is like, yes, you did good in this, and then you just build off of that.
Yeah. So 100 or 99 different things got improved on it before it actually hit. So then you know it's actually coming to fruition, you know? Like, in a sense, the first 99 of these episodes are going to suck. What we're doing right now is going to be shit compared to our 100th, whatever that looks like, you know? Because it's going to be a little bit more refined. Somehow we're going to figure out how to have less echo in this.
You're going to have more guests.
More guests, hopefully, and just kind of get people rolling. Like, as an example, the 100th is probably going to be better than the one we're doing right now, in a sense. Yeah. But not to say that this doesn't matter, because you still need a foundation to build off.
You always got to start somewhere.
Because there's a give and take. And what were we talking about? I had a thought with the ab thing, and it's a huge problem we're having right now that's so simple to solve, is people want this black and white evaluation on everything, you know? There's this camp, we've talked about this extensively, not on the podcast really, but people want to find their camp. Yes, you can target certain spots of abs. No, you can't. You're a dumbass. Everybody wants to be in those things. But then when you evaluate it like we did, I don't know, probably 20 minutes, and then you've seen your teacher and us talking about it now. So actually, like, going through it, it seems like it's just in the middle. Like everything fucking is.
You find a good middle ground.
It's not intuitive to even think about it like that, you know, when you actually just take a couple seconds and don't side with your tribe. Because kind of you can target it, because if you just did leg lifts for 6 inches, your abs are only going to contract more in the lower portion. So then technically targeting, you know. But at the same time, most ranges of motion and most exercises that you'll do are going to be close to full range of motion, working short head and long head, just how the abs operate. So you get the other camp as well, because you're hitting all of it. So it's actually in the middle, just like everything has been in a lot of different senses. The left is not always 100% right, and the right's not always 100% right. You know, it's somewhere in the middle, and context dependent when you get to something that complex, you know, in my opinion.
I mean, just kind of going off of that, like, think for yourselves. Stop bandwagoning.
Yeah, like, this tribal shit.
I was going to say, you hear somebody say, like, oh, I heard this, I think this is right, and not even know, like, what the hell you're even talking about.
Yeah.
And then you just get a bunch of bandwagoners like, oh, yeah, like, I believe that too, so I'm just going to, like, go be on this side, and you're not even, like, actually think about, like, how does this affect me? How does this affect others? Like, what's actually going on here?
Yeah. Actually intuitively look through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're not even, like, looking into seeing what it actually is. So you're just jumping on a side and riding it out, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess this is, like, a specific thing within the health and exercise community. And that's where, like, when you get to something more broad, like how to rule a country, you just need to be more specific, is a good rule of thumb as well. The more specific you can be, in my opinion, the better. Like, instead of, when we were arguing about abs, we argued about we were drawing examples from different muscles, but we weren't trying to argue muscles incorporated with the abs.
Right.
If that makes sense, you know? So if we have a particular issue in government, we can connect to different examples through different things that we've also seen through society to help kind of color the picture we're trying to figure out. But then at the same time, we can't connect those things, because at a certain point we have to sever everything in order to really figure out what's at play in this particular situation.
Right.
You know, I think that's another good rule of thumb we're missing, is everybody wants to connect everything to itself, and then, like, nothing gets done because it's such a bigger problem at hand. You know, like, it took us, I don't know how much time you want to add up, but at least 30 minutes to just go over the abs on one particular issue. You know, it would have been a lot harder to do that if we were trying to tackle full body training or something like that, incorporated through an ab lens or something like that, you know? So I think that's another problem we have, is people aren't getting specific enough.
Right.
You know?
They're just making too many connections and saying, oh, this is so closely related to this, then why do we even have to worry about it? And not, like, actually thinking about the specifics of what's going on.
Yeah. And it's easy to do that. That's why people do it. And we only have so much time and energy. But I guess, like, when it comes down to it and a decision has to be made, we have to actually have an informed decision and not have a surface level decision.
Right.
Good booch.
Good booch. That is good booch. Sweet booch.
Sweet booch. Yeah. I think that's a good thought we had, honestly.
Trying to remember something that I feel like I was gonna text you about last night, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. I was talking about this with a friend like a year or two ago, and it was like, we can keep everything connected, like as you do with a book. It's connected by the spine. But then if you need to delve into a particular issue of it because you need to use it for your life, as an example, then you have to find the specific chapter, and then within that chapter you want to find the specific paragraph, and then usually in that paragraph it might add context around the sentences, but then 2 sentences out of that paragraph is actually going to help. So, but then like that's just getting very high resolution, if you think of it like as a bird's eye perspective, like really getting down deep into it. But then you can still scope out, and it's still a book, it's still all connected. And so even if like through theory we splice things apart, it's just for that time, and then when we retract out, everything's still connected, especially when we speak, and it's conceptual, because we're not actually physically cutting things apart,
Right.
and that's like the safest thing that we can do. That's why we need like things like being able to talk like this and actually just communicate and say things wrong sometimes. Oh, I know her. And that's Danielle.
Oh, I was going
She's
to guess Cassie.
Oh, she knows the person you know.
Really?
She's talking to, that you think you know. Is that the chick you ramrided?
No, that is not now.
No. Well, that's who you're referring to.
Yeah, now that I actually look, that is definitely not the person.
But I don't know if it's like I just listen to different things, and that's why I have these thoughts that I think are pretty clear. But it doesn't seem like a lot of people think like this. Maybe I need to meet more people.
Well, I mean, I feel
what do
like
you think?
My personal understanding of what you were talking about, like as the book reference, like it's all in the same book, all connected but the spine, and then get to the certain paragraph, and then certain sentence in that paragraph or in the chapter.
Yeah.
How that whole kind of system you
Connects.
outlaid. I think about it as just like a big funnel. It's basically kind of the same thing, but I mean, like at the top of the funnel, you've just got a big variety of whatever you're talking about.
The book.
Yeah. And then as you move down the funnel and get to like the neck of the funnel, however small that might be, depending on what you're looking for, you've got the information or the amount of information that you need in order to answer.
It's
whatever
whittled
you're
away.
looking for. Yes.
Yeah. Because I can picture that, like if you put like an actual funnel on a book, and then you just cut off the bottom and had the biggest ring on top, then you'd see the whole book.
Exactly.
But then you take a couple rings in and open the book and put it down, you might see a chapter. That's so exactly what you're saying. It's just how much perspective you give.
Yeah, that's just my 1-2 on that. Is I've always thought about that, kind of what you explained as a funnel.
Yeah.
I would assume other people would have something kind of similar to that, because that's not...
I guess I want to talk to more people and see what they think. And it's like, it's a funny environment we have, because we kind of have 2 environments right now, in a way. It's multiple ways you can splice it, but how I'm thinking of it is like, nobody's screaming at each other right now in this lobby, right?
Right.
But like, you can get into some rooms on message boards online, and everybody's yelling at each other, like the Twitter fights and stuff like that, you know? So it's like this interesting thing.
So like 2 different mediums.
Yeah. And maybe it's just because there's less personality within the social media context. That like it's easier to yell at people because they're kind of faceless, you know? And it's easier because there's no risk of physical harm when you tweet at somebody that's 1,000 miles away from you. You know?
Definitely yes, because thinking about it that way, online you can say whatever you want, whenever you want, and whether that being how severe, there could be like 0 repercussions, but thinking about doing that in like a place we are right now, like if you did something that you I don't know, could translate over from social media, depending on
Just
how
start
bad that
yelling
would
at
be.
somebody
Like,
about
yeah,
something.
like,
Yeah.
How like different the reactions would be
Yeah.
as of opposed to on the internet
Yeah.
and face to face.
I think another thing that colors it is like, I guess most of the people in this room are more homogenous. You know, we're a lot more like-minded. We're all college students of the like, you know. But if you put it to the internet arena, even if like at the moment of you texting that out, the first 10 people that read it don't want to engage with it. There's so many people that are plugged in that without a doubt you're going to find somebody that wants to engage with it. You know, so it's a I don't know, like it's an issue of like how many people are in contact, I guess.
Right.
You know, we have a much smaller sample here than like the whole entirety of the internet, which is billions of people, you know, or well, there's probably billions of people on Twitter. I don't even know the numbers, you know. So at least like thousands of people of that billion, which is a very small number, is going to engage with you yelling at somebody online. But there's 100 or 2 people in this room, a couple hundred maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, and of all like-minded people, so it's a little bit different. I bet.
Yeah, because you've just stood up and started yelling at somebody. Probably a good majority of the people are gonna like see it and react and say like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
calm down. What the hell's going on?" Like,
Yeah.
But on the internet, you could slander somebody and then maybe like
Then delete your account even and leave the tweet up, you know, or log off.
exactly.
You can just ghost out.
So, yeah.
There's one dude online, like a big, high-functioning figure, I guess you could say, and somebody kept like tweeting at him. This guy's more on the right.
Joe Rogan.
No, Andrew Tate.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This one like teacher dude was like kept like calling him a misogynist and all this kind of stuff, and then one of his friends is like, you know, that guy lives here, like in the area that Andrew Tate, and so he pulls up in his brand new Bugatti. And it's just like, hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
And he's like screaming out his window. He tells the story online, like terrified this dude.
Really?
Yeah, that like was sending him like shitty tweets for like years.
That's
I don't know how long it went. But he took like a selfie in front of his house with his new car and stuff like that. And the police were called, but like he didn't get arrested because he wasn't doing anything.
He's not doing anything.
But he called the police on him and stuff like that. And it's like, people can still get to you, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a little harder being online. But that was an example of like when it actually gets played in real life.
That's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
What up, homie? Just roll up to his house. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the guy ended up moving.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, the like fucking $1 million dude, $1 trillion dude, I don't even know his net worth, is like found your doorstep
Just
and you've been
rolls
sending him
up.
shitty tweets. Like, yeah. And that's, yeah. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of not so PC stuff, I guess. But I think things that have validity in them. So, I don't know. My mind's a little bit in a different lens, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I know it's not specific, but I don't know if I want to get specific just because people could pick stuff out of it, you know? And I'd rather just want to like talk to somebody that maybe disagreed with me right now than like we were talking about the online stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And if we wanted to get into particular issues, you know?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's going to be disagreement no matter what, but
Yeah. My goal with a lot of things is I want to like just form a consensus on these things. That's why I was like really curious about the ab discussion. And it's like we need to have millions of these discussions because they have to be done at such a personal level and such a specific level that it takes a lot of time to work through these things. Like if you like think about perspective and blowing things out and how much resolution, talking 30 minutes on abdominals specifically is like a very specific thing, and relatively speaking, it was kind of time intensive, you know, for such a specific thing. But then we kind of came to the right idea, which I think like I would love to have somebody challenge it if they thought they had different information, you know, because then we could update having this consensus, you know. but there's still going to be Reddit blog posts of like targeting abs and not, but to try to at least have some sort of ecosystem of a good consensus on everything would be really cool to have at the very least.
Just have more like thousands and thousands of conversations and kind of just change the way conversations are kind of had, I guess.
Yeah.
Meaning you're having a conversation, you're not arguing because both of you in having that conversation like we had, both of us aren't like, we're explaining, saying we're not necessarily right.
We're trying to
like,
navigate.
This is what I think and this is why I think that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying I'm right, you're wrong, which both of us were doing that, and then connecting both of our conversations together to come to a general consensus.
Yeah.
If everybody was doing that and we had thousands and thousands of those conversations happening, you're going to get that general consensus of like, here's what we're saying, this is why we think that, this is the general consensus of probably what's right, and it's most likely going to be at least in the 90% of actually being right, because you have so many like different takes and so many different reasonings from everybody to kind of back that up. But the problem of that being is everybody having the conversations nowadays, kind of jumping back to that bandwagoning thing, they always think they're right, and if you're not on their side, then you're wrong. So those conversations aren't really happening the way they should be. So
yeah, and this would be a good medium to do it in
Right.
as well. You know, it'd be really nice.
because you just got dudes talking to dudes, having a
Talking
dude
to-
moment, and we're all good.
I had a thought when you were talking about that. It's the higher resolution issue needs the most amount of development, just like a photo, which is a good rule of thumb almost.
Right.
You know, and almost we need to solve as many problems as we can at the highest resolution possible, which means most of our problems need to be done in the most time-intensive practice, which makes sense. You know,
Right.
you would want, again, like all these things I feel like are pretty explanatory, but sometimes I feel like they have to be said or like acknowledged or
Well, once you kind of fine-tune like that big broad spectrum, that all leaks down into the more specifics, because once you like actually have a good understanding of like what's going on in the general sense, then I feel like that just helps you later on down the road, because
Yeah.
the more specific you get, it's just like you lead it back to like what the whole overarching like topic that you're looking at, and I feel like that just helps just knowing what's actually going on instead of saying, oh yeah, this is this because someone said it and I think that too.
And like fixing a piece of the car is it still a net positive for the car itself, you know? And this is like the analogy I always come back to, I guess, because like, especially with older models of cars, it puts the power in any person's hand to go fix the car, you know? It's maybe harder to like build the car entirely, if this analogy is still holding up, but like what we just did, we just kind of worked on a piece, you know, and maybe doing that in our own garage took a little bit more time, but then we actually got it right, you know, and in the pursuit of getting it right, we also learned how to fix the car a little bit more,
Right.
you know, and then we do that 20 times, and then more pieces are put together and fixed and updated, that we start to have a really nice car at our hands, you know. And so all of these little pieces reflect back to the greater whole. And if we tried to work on, if our brakes were out, but then we started with the doors, it'd be a lot longer until we actually get to the problem we were trying to target. So that's why I think it's more effective to do this at the most small level, at the highest resolution, the lowest level possible, because you can be more effective as like a 1 or 2 man team,
Right.
as well.
I was going to say you get all the small chunks in there, and then that just keeps building, and then you learn more about it, which means you can just build more off of those small little things, and then eventually they just build up, and then you get the big overarching project of what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good thought we had.
It was. Oh.
My underwear's strangling my balls right now.
Fix it.
I don't want to, I feel like people are watching us and I don't want to dig in my pants.
Stand up. It worked for us last time.
It did work for us last time. Just start interviewing people. Just point it at them.
We're just having a random conversation, and he's like,
"Sorry. What are your thoughts?"
I'd like your thoughts on marijuana use and the lacing of fentanyl. What are your thoughts on that, Bosch?
Dude, they got... Whoa, this sounds weird. Double timed. They got into us quick.
I kind of enjoyed it because I thought it was
it.
just going to be like stagnant, kind of like stale,
Casual.
like, oh, hey, like, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. But no, they came in and just like, yo, we're ready. I have questions for you, like, right now.
They got their interview voices on, too. Did you notice that?
That one girl that was sitting next to you, she was like, it looked like she had practice.
She was professional.
Yeah, she was like,
yeah.
So we're here, and I'm going to ask Bosch this question. So, Bosch, what do you think about... And I was like, wow. Like, all right.
Yeah, that was fun. It's 3 o'clock right now. That was 30 minutes.
We had a powwow for 30 minutes.
That was a 30-minute powwow just on, like, solving problems and abs.
Yeah. I feel like it needed to be said, though, because... I'm not going to say that the general population is...
You're going to say dumb.
Not
adequate. They're taking too simplistic of an approach.
Right.
That's kind of what we connected to. When you do this tribal warfare stuff and just pick a side, it's a lot quicker, but then it's a lot simpler.
Yeah, I was going to say they're just like...
And usually...
There's no thought process or thinking of, like, actually what's going on. Like, you just hear about something and then they're like, yes, no.
There's no critical thinking.
And it's like, you're not even, like, diving into it or actually, like, giving it thought.
Yeah.
You're just like, yes, no, moving on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was going to say dumb. I just didn't want to be mean.
Well, it's, like, tricky because, like, I feel like if we sat any one of these people down, most of them, they'd 80% agree, with what we just said, if not more,
But then, yet again, how much of that is the bandwagoning thing that we just talked about?
Because that's the other thing is maybe people haven't thought about this stuff. I think about this stuff often, and I try to, like, immerse my head into it and, like, listen to other people that think about this stuff or relating things. And so that's why, like, I'm always on this idea. Lost my train of thought.
I was going to say you just gone.
Just well, I don't think a lot of people, I guess, think about it.
Definitely not.
And I think that's a harp I would have on just the school system in general is, like, we don't teach them to... It's not question everything, because I don't think that's the right way about it. It's more like we just don't teach...
Critical thinking.
I
mean, not just critical thinking, but it's like, learn this. This is how it's done. Like, BMS, the one I'm in right now, we're learning about... I mean, this is kind of...
I got a good idea.
Not a great example, but, like, for anatomy, you learn this. This is how it is. This is what this is. You need to learn this, memorize it. Here's the test.
Yeah.
Write down exactly what you memorized.
Yeah.
Then you're done. You don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's kind of the mentality of just everyday life now, is kind of like that school test approach.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about things. Like, you hear something, and then whatever you have, you're like, yes, no.
I have an idea of what's affecting it. I have an idea.
Explain.
Do you kind of know, you good? Do you kind of know the story of, like, how maybe, like, somebody that started out in poverty, they really hated being broke and poor.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked their ass off and did all the self-betterment and got a lot better to be in a place where they were making upwards of six figures.
Right.
And we're in the high life at that point. And they did that because they had a basis of feeling what poor was, and they wanted to get away from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they get to that, and so they're coming from a place of no prosperity into a place of prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
But then what the problem is that person then, I don't know, doesn't think, or that I'm not going to infer on, but has kids, and they're born into prosperity, and then take the prosperity for granted.
Okay.
And so then it's synonymous with getting the car, and then they can just drive it, you know? Where instead their father had to work for the car and then they got to drive it.
Right.
And so that conceptually is we have a relatively like happy and prosperous society being in the West in general. And so at birth, even if you're kind of not definitely at the bottom 1%, but a good majority is born with the car, especially obviously in the upper class.
Right.
But even mid class, and depending on how you splice it, like if you make $35,000 a year, you're in the 1% of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might not be in the 1% within the U.S., but if you take it as a world standard, you're in the 1%, which is a huge percent, you know, or a small percentage of people, but it's big to be in that. And so that's where people are getting born with the car, and we're not being taught how the parts work and how to work hard to get the parts, and then assembling them and having the skills to assemble them, and then having the know-how to drive it as well. We're just giving it and we go. And I think that's like analogy for the problem right now.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
Because you're just saying like the little parts and all the little pieces that you needed that you were learning about to make your car, all of that coming together to get your car, as being said, of like whatever topic you're actually learning about. You're actually putting in the work and learning about that piece, how it's actually going to help your car. You're putting it on your car to make your car better, as opposed to you just have your car being handed to you and then you're just using it.
Yeah.
And you're not like fully understanding or knowing of what is actually at play, and you're just using it.
Yeah. Which I think, like, that's not to say we should never be given cars. That'd be too far on the other side of the spectrum, because maybe if like you're in a poor position and just came upon one, you still need to be more mobile and have other problems to work out. So there's a place for that. But especially when you come into such a prosperous time, then that's the time to start fortifying yourself for that danger, to start learning how your car works. Learn how your car works while the world's not on fire and you don't have to jump in it and drive away, because then you can figure out how to manage it and mechanic on it and tool it and everything. And you'd rather do that when things are good than when things are bad, because then you have more problems to deal with than just your car. You know, is how to think about it. Yeah.
I like that. That was a really good example.
And I think that's why the car thing, I guess, motif works very well, you know? Because you could take that to like a fleet of cars, like a very, very competent person not just knows how to work on their car, but then other people's cars. You know, like you could say a good competence person can work on their car, but then a great competent person can work on anybody's car.
And help you with your car.
Yeah, yeah. So stuff like that. I can get you more line.
Oh, you're good. He was like,
oh.
Yeah, making the noise.
I think that's a really good session right there already, you know?
Yeah, we're pretty good.
These are ideas I think about all the time. And it's nice having somebody to talk to and not just talk to myself, I guess.
See, we talked about this earlier. Like, you have all these, like,
ideas.
Over and beyond ideas.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, not like over and beyond, like, everything, but, like, because they're good ideas. But, like, your thinking is just, like, so...
It's like 5 decades in the future.
I mean, some of it's, like, way, way, way in the future thinking, but other thinking is, like... Because when you think about that, then you actually sometimes start to think of, like, okay, I thought about that, of how or what's going to happen in the future, and then sometimes back up of saying, how am I going to get there?
Oh, and then kind of reeling it into right now,
I was
what to do.
When you talk to me about it, you've got those out there ideas of, like, this is going to happen in the future, blah, 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 what we just talked about. And then I come in and be like, all right, I like that idea.
But what do we do now?
What are the steps of how we're actually going to get there?
Yeah.
And I feel like we definitely work together on that.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, if I'm just have my headspace in the future, that's when I have one of those minty bees.
Minty bees. I liked that. I did like that.
I heard that somewhere else. And I was like, I'm gonna keep that.
I had a Minty Bee the other day.
Mental breakdown for everybody else.
Yes.
A little minty bee.
So little background of what I'm going through right now.
When was this?
This is
When did it happen?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Before or
Was
after
it
we played
yesterday?
games?
I think it was after, because then I actually started working on shit. I have a 5-page paper due for my music appreciation class. It's due on Friday,
Okay.
and I haven't started it.
Yeah.
But I have good reason. I'm not just procrastinating,
Mhm.
even though I do procrastinate a lot. This one is not procrastination. I also have an English project due that I'm working on that is due tomorrow on Wednesday. And I'm also have a HES project that me and my group have been working on that is due on Thursday that I'm going to work on after this session.
Okay.
That I need to work on. And then I also have my BMS 300 exam tomorrow at 5. So I've got a lot of
you got a
stuff.
lot of shit to do.
I've got a lot of stuff going on because
You're talking to me right now.
This is the week before Dead Week.
Is next week finals?
Next week is Dead Week.
What's Dead Week?
Dead Week is the week where teachers cannot give you any assignment that is over 10% of your grade.
Oh.
So all
Is that
the,
a new thing?
It used to be okay, let me finish my thought, and then I'm going to explain what Dead Week is, and then I don't know if this is true. So pretty much, teachers can't give you, what it is now that I heard, is teachers can't give you any assignment that's due, or that's due in Dead Week that's over 10% of your grade. So most of the professors try to cram it in the week before Dead Week, which is this week.
Okay.
So I have a lot of shit to do this week.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a lot of stuff to do next week, which is Dead Week. It's set for study for finals, and then finals week. So this week kind of sucks.
It's funny how they probably made that policy to try to ease up on kids, and it just pushes it a week earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
But what did you want to? Which first thing did you want to get to?
The Dead Week thing.
Dead Week?
Yes.
Okay. And then the Minty Bee?
Yes. So Dead Week, what I heard from my HES professor last semester is, I don't know if this is true or not, but he told us that it's not, I don't know if it was called Dead Week before this.
Is this specific to your major?
No.
I don't remember
this
this when I was in
specific.
school.
This is specific to the whole campus,
Oh.
or like all of college, I think.
Oh.
What he
Right.
told us was that you didn't have any classes on Dead Week, and you had no, like, it was pretty much just a free week before finals week, so you could actually like study up for finals and like do really good. But they stopped doing that and made us come back to school this week because during Dead Week it was just a week that there was no classes and anything and no assignments. It was just a week to study before finals. Apparently all the kids took that as, we're just gonna party and get fucked up before finals.
That's what they'll do.
Apparently somebody got really, really, really fucked up during that week and actually died. So the school was like, okay, we can't have this, so we're gonna make the kids actually go to school this week, but we're just gonna make it to where professors can't give you a lot of assignments, so you still actually have time to study for finals.
Okay.
Is what he told us.
So is this maybe new in this semester and last?
I think he said it was newer within like the year,
Okay.
and this was last semester.
Okay.
So I think he said it was relatively new.
Okay.
But apparently somebody like actually died during Dead
Yeah.
Week. Like,
Well,
did you
like-
ever have a Dead Week?
I don't know. No.
Like,
If we did, we didn't call it
No
that.
one ever talked about it?
No.
Or anything like
No,
that?
not when I was in school.
I was going to say, because there's a lot of people that know about Dead Week. Like,
But I graduated a year ago, so maybe this is new.
that's weird, though. I feel like you should have been able to, like, hear about it. Did you ever call the week right before finals anything?
Call?
Yeah, like, was it ever, like, named anything? Because we called it Dead Week.
No.
Because that's what
No.
it is.
No. My finals were usually really easy. Sometimes I even had, like, some teachers gave some finals the week before finals to ease us up. So sometimes I even had finals, I guess, during your Dead Week to ease us up during finals week.
Maybe it's a STEM major thing.
Maybe. My HTFS teachers were super easy, though, in general. Like, we didn't, in my opinion, need a Dead Week because HTFS is pretty easy, what I had.
That's why I'm thinking it's maybe more of a STEM major thing.
I could imagine that for, like, psychology, though, because psychology is much harder.
Isn't psychology
classes.
a STEM major?
Is it?
I think so.
Well, science... technology, engineering. I thought psychology was more of like a, I don't know, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. But
Because, well, we were the Department of Health and Human Sciences, I think. If that makes any sense. I don't know. I don't pay attention
I don't
to that
know
stuff.
what's technically classified as STEM. I know HES is STEM major because it's pre-med and stuff. So
What? I guess there's like the humanities. Would psychology be a humanities?
I would assume yes.
Would social work? Then yeah, I think it's more in that
Maybe.
area. I don't know.
I
don't know.
But anyways, that's what I heard from my HES teacher is that somebody actually died during Dead Week when you didn't have classes, and then the
I could
school
see
was
that.
like, "Hey, yo, we can't have this," so they actually make us come to school on Dead Week now. But teachers just can't give assignments out that are worth a lot of your grade because kids actually need time to study for finals.
That makes sense.
So yeah, that was my one.
So
veer.
why did you have a Minty B?
My Mentee B was on Monday or Sunday or something because I just like freaked the fuck out because I'm like, holy shit, I have a lot of
everything
stuff
you
to
have this
do.
week?
And I'm like, I feel like I can manage my time well because I can just like go do something for like an hour like this. Like I'm fine doing this, but then after this, I have to go
You're going to do work.
crank out at least a page of my assignment for music. But that's after I go work on my project for HES with my group. And then also work on my English paper and study for my BMS final that are both tomorrow. So I have a lot of stuff to do, but I feel like I can manage my time well now that I'm actually thinking about it. But the beginning of the week, I was like, how the hell am I going to do this? So I kind of freaked out.
Had a little Minty B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a Minty B when I'm too much in the future, my head. Because
I
then
can see that.
everything, like, because then there's nothing to do. Because, like we were talking about, it's me staring at the car instead of thinking about the parts
Right.
of what to work on today, you know? So trying to reel it back in has been something I've been working on. But it's good to take the car in as a whole, you know?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But I always feel like you're trying to pick up on somebody's conversation when you point it, which would be kind of cool.
It doesn't work.
They're pretty proximal. I want to get somebody to talk
Francis?
to.
Francis! He's got his earphone on.
Is he walking? Flannel?
Yeah, he's got his earbuds in. That's a guy in my fraternity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was he the one that wanted a podcast?
No.
Oh. Terry? Did he start with a T? No, Hutch did and somebody else did.
Oh, Bramond.
Vermont. Oh,
yeah,
I was far
we
off.
got lunch. He was high as shit though
Oh.
when we were talking about.
Oh,
it.
okay.
So I don't know if he actually wants to do one. I think he wants to do one, but
Anybody's invited. I'll talk to anybody.
I talked to Hutch about it when I got back after we did our first one. I was like, yeah. I was like, Bosch wants you on, so
I
if you ever
texted
want
him.
to. Did you?
Yeah, and he was like, perhaps.
He likes to say that. He
I
says
know,
perhaps.
I
a
know.
lot.
I know it was a yes. But I was like,
Perhaps.
perhaps.
Yeah, we'll talk about like going out or something, or like maybe go do a drinking game later in like the day or at night sometimes. And we're like, hey, yo, Hutch, want to come? He's like, perhaps.
Perhaps.
But yeah.
It was like warm today, but cloudy.
It was nice today walking to class. It was really nice going to my 8 a.m. this morning. It was like cool, so you could wear a sweatshirt, but like not super cold, but not like super warm. Like perfect sweatshirt weather. But I was also wearing shorts, so it wasn't like super, super cold. Yeah.
I want to reel somebody in, but I don't want to be weird about it.
Like, hey, yo.
Hey, yo. Podcast?
Podcast? Yes.
Perhaps.
Speaking of Mentee Bs, I had I don't know if this was a mental breakdown, but I went like really in depth in my thinking because you know how I got food poisoning a while ago, right? And I can't remember what conversation I had with somebody, but it brought the topic of me having food poisoning up. I was like, I didn't eat for like 4 days, and I was like, that sucked. And then I was like, what if I had like a condition or a disease that made it to where I just had to live that way?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, how much time would I actually have on Earth if I had that disease / condition? And then I was like, we really don't have that much time on Earth that I really think about it. And I was like, what have I really done throughout my life, through my 20 years? And I was like, I really don't have that much time left. And I was like,
you have 80 years.
I've blinked and I've already lived 20 years of my life. And then I was like, death is coming soon for me. And then I really started thinking about it. I was like, death really isn't that far away. Like, I'm 20 now. Like, I blink again, I'm 40. And then when I'm 40, God, I blink twice. And then I'm 80, and then I'm dead. And I really thought about that, like, in depth.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I'll have a lot more time than that. Because I was like, I'm procrastinating the shit out of my finals right now. And I'm like, oh, nah, I've got time. Because, yeah. But yeah, I thought like really in depth about that. I was like, we really don't have like that much time. And then I was like, oh yeah, we do.
Well, it is relative.
Yeah.
Which is easy to say,
Depending
but
on
like
how you're living. Whoa.
Is that better?
Oh. It's like really deep.
Bosh. I am your father. Stop it. We were actually talking about something serious that was interesting to me.
Me getting in depth about life?
Boring as fuck.
It was nice this morning.
I think about that.
It was nice.
But like talking about the weather to me is just boring.
Oh. Well, let's talk about Jesse's life.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to get back to this. I think about that sometimes, and that's why I like to be hyper efficient, I guess, and pack as much stuff in as I can at the same time. That's why, like, when I packed my car coming here, I packed with 3 bags.
One for climbing, one for this, and one for...
Well, I already had my climbing bag in my car, so you could make 4 bags, I guess.
Shit, all right.
I keep that in my car so I don't have to bring 4 bags out.
One for climbing, one for this, one for possibly
Let me just tell you.
Nah, I want to
actually,
guess.
That was actually pretty good.
All right, and the 4th one is... It's our sex bag, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. What did you say? Climbing?
Studying. I forgot what I said now. Climbing, studying, this. Podcast.
Yeah.
And what would be your 4th one? Climbing, studying, this. Food, maybe?
I got my
you
bananas.
Have food in there. Studying, work? I don't know what...
Let me just tell you.
Yeah, just tell me.
A shower bag. Because I'm going to shower off after climbing.
Oh, okay.
At the gym.
Gym bag.
Yeah.
Right.
Little gym bag with change of clothes. This whole podcast stuff takes up a lot. I think I could fit it into here, but I just like it in one bag by itself.
I was going to say, then you get...
Things get...
Yeah.
I'd like to get one dedicated bag other than that. But then, I have like my laptop and books in there. But I'd like to pack a lot of stuff in. Like if I came here and then you... forgot about me again and had a lab.
Listen.
No, I'm just using an example. Then I would have stuff to study on and read up until at, what did I say, like 5:30ish, I want to go climb. So then I needed my climbing gear. And I already dressed in a way that I can climb, or else I need to bring a change of clothes as well. And then after I climb, I'm gonna hit the sauna, and I'm going to be all gross and sweaty and wet. And so I'm going to have to shower. So then shower bag. Yeah.
All right, 2 things.
And then when I get home, I'm going to get home and warm up a meal that I pre-made like 5 days ago to save time on that as well because I bulked them up. So that's all to say that I'm trying to be very efficient, but then also keep all these healthy things in at the same time, which makes it super hard. What were we getting at? Oh, we don't have a lot of time. You're right. We don't. But that's why I want to be efficient. Like I... at least once a week think about like a particular profession or like hobby that I would love to just spend 2 decades just like diving into. Like I had a 10-minute thought, which for me is a while to like stick on an idea. I was like, what if I just quit my job and played guitar and just because if you put enough time in and just effort and enough energy into something, it'll work. It might take a while, but it'll work.
Right.
And so I was like, in 5 years, I could be really good at the guitar. And in 10 years, be really fucking good at the guitar.
Yeah.
Do I want to do that? I don't know. Because it comes out of a great appreciation for people that are good with the guitar. Because I was listening to a song, and I was like, man, this guitarist I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about the song. Like, it was beautiful. And I was like, man, I'd like to do that. But then I have all these other things. I'm trying to live my life, but that's like a life I would love to live. But we only get one life.
All right, 2 things. First, I didn't forget about you.
If I felt forgotten because your phone died and you didn't text me, but I know you didn't mean to do that.
Little backstory. I was supposed to do the first podcast with Bosch, but I got stuck in my BMS lab because it ran a little late, and I was going to text him, but my phone died during this time, and my lab went like 2 hours longer than it was supposed to because the technology and stuff in the lab wasn't working, so it kind of sucked. But Bosch thought I forgot about him, which I didn't. And I called him later that day after I charged my phone, and I was like, Bosch, I'm not dead.
My initial thought actually was he might have gotten hit by like a car or something.
Yeah, that's why I like called you and was like, Bosch, I'm okay. Like, I didn't mean to like just ditch you.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because my phone was dead and I couldn't even like tell you like, hey, I'm not gonna be there. Second thing. What was my second thing? Oh yeah, second thing. I do agree with all of like your preparedness and like actually packing for like, if this doesn't happen, maybe I'm going to do this. I do that same thing for classes. I did this morning because I do my 8 a.m. BMS lecture for my lab, and then I have music appreciation, and then later after music appreciation, I actually have my lab. But during music appreciation, I have a little bit of time in the beginning, and then right before class after my lecture gets out, I have like 30, 45 minutes to actually do just whatever. So I grab a bunch of like different notebooks of like stuff that I actually need to work on for my classes. And I'm like, all right, well, if I can't do this, then I'll work on this. And then once I'm done with this, I can do this. So that's kind of like what you're talking about, more of like short term. But I definitely do that in life as well, outside of classes. Like, just prepare yourself better. Like, if this doesn't happen, then I'm prepared for this. And then after I do this, I can do this, and whatever. So, yeah.
It's nice that you're on campus, but, like, the drive for me, depending on traffic, could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, one way.
More effective for you because...
So, like, I have to. Like, on my 10-hour day shifts at work, man, I used to have super productive days that I'd have to pull off where I would volunteer for 2 hours in the morning and then go work out and then hit my shift. I'd usually get there early, but my shift was at 10, and then work like a 10-hour shift, and then get home, eat, shower. No, I already showered. Eat, and go to bed. And, like, packing all that in one day.
That makes for a long day.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to get
certain
amount of hours of sleep.
It's long, but what I've learned is that if you do it in as many things as you can that fill your cup, then it's not work. And it's actually not a long day.
Right.
And I feel fulfilled in those days. I like those days. And it's like something I heard earlier today that I really liked was like you can fill a bucket up and keep filling it up, but then when that bucket's full and you keep pouring into it, then it does no good for you. So like in that day, I filled multiple different buckets. You know, I filled I worked my volunteering bone. I worked my work bone, going to work and getting that done, and then my exercise bone that I need to do. So I filled all these different buckets, you know, that I really like. I feel like you have a thought.
I was just going to say something.
I could see it like in your eyes for some reason.
You're talking about working all these bones, and I was like, you could work on my bone. I didn't want to interrupt you because you were actually serious about this.
But it was distracting me. Because I could see in your eyes that it was not serious
at all. The
thought
got in my head, and I was like, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let him finish, and then I'm going to say it. But yeah, that was...
But fill multiple buckets, you know? Sometimes I see college students and I'm like, not that student, but in general, grader? I'm like, yeah. But sometimes I see college students and I'm like, you're in college? You look like a middle schooler, dude. What is going on? I hope it's not malnutrition. I don't know what it is.
People are different, Bosh.
Oh, so we were talking about this last time about the teeth stuff, and you were like, well, it could be genetics and stuff like that, right? With jaws.
Oh, yeah.
And everything. Well, I was reading more of the book today, and no.
It's not?
No. Well, like, the chapter, I read it was like 3 or 4, and it's now when he's interviewing different Swiss people.
From Switzerland?
Yeah.
Fucking Switzerland? I'm sorry. Switzerland?
Yeah, but there's this, I think, he was like outlining geographic mappings and stuff like that, but through words, so it's hard to track. But what I at least pictured in my brain was there's like this valley almost that stretches, and I think this is wrong, but I think it works to think about it like this. There's this valley, and like as the valley kind of comes down and goes to the modern town in Switzerland, because they are modern in some parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy kind of tracked up the valley and got to more and more unmodern places to a point where like no modern foods were there. And when he'd study them, he saw at most like 6% cavities in that population.
Wow.
But then as he tracked out, and they were eating like a little bit of meat a month, lots of dairy, which that more goes towards like their gut microbiome can handle it. And it was homemades and cheeses and stuff like that, which are very nutrient dense if they're made correctly. And a lot of rye bread as well. Which I don't think you should focus on the food necessarily. It was more that they just cultivated these very nutrient-packed foods, you know? And then as he got out and even got to some towns that had roads put in and train systems and stuff like that, so they had access to more modern food, and they were eating that. Like, he has pictures in the book. I actually have the book of just kids with, like, almost no teeth at the age of, like, 16.
What?
Yeah.
Is that just because, like, they lost all their teeth?
Yeah, because they developed these cavities from, like, he said they ate a lot of white bread and jams and jellies that have artificial flavorings and sugars and stuff like that. That's the teeth of some of them. But
how come that guy's not smiling?
that's the bad teeth.
Oh, my gosh.
And then these he was referring to that they have here. In the modernized districts of Switzerland, tooth decay is rampant. The girl upper left is 16, and the one right is younger. They use white bread and sweets liberally. The 2 children below have very badly formed dental arches with crowding of the teeth and deformity, and is not due to heredity. And then if you look before, this was of the more isolated, and they have like perfect teeth. Normal design of the face and dental arches when adequate nutrition is provided for both the parents and children. Note the well-developed nostrils.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say I was wrong. Genetics is not a factor, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. No, you're good.
Yeah, get your stuff out of the
Dropping
way.
things.
What is that?
That goes around the cords.
What
Is there a spill there? Anyways. And I'm not trying to prove you wrong, but you kind of brought up that good question, and I actually read it this morning that answered it, which is cool.
I
and
had no idea that
it's cool that he has pictures, too.
Yeah.
You know, that really colors it for you. Like, you see that tooth decay in the children, and you're like, fuck. It's really bad. And that might be, like, he kind of referenced how, like, even if they had modern access to modern technology, it was still, like, not enough because we should more rely on. He didn't make this difference, but I think you can, that you should more rely on old ways of foods almost, or more nutrient-packed foods than these modern added sugar type foods.
Right.
And stuff like that. And I'm not a nutritionist, so I'd love to find one, but I wonder what's the difference between white bread and the rye bread?
Process. The way it's processed.
Is rye bread less processed?
Depending, because I know there's different kind of rye breads that you can get.
I bet you're right on the processing, and maybe...
Well, because I know white bread, you have a lot of, like, coloring and just a bunch of stuff that goes into it that makes it not really good
preservatives
for you.
And additives and all that good stuff.
So I think I would think that is a big key in that, but I don't. Other than that, I don't really know.
Yeah. The added sugars and stuff like that makes sense. Yeah, but I read that this morning and thought of you. It's been an hour.
Still trying to think about what I was going to ask you this morning.
I wish I knew.
Or yesterday.
Wish I knew. Do you have much of a thought of like scarcity mindsets as opposed to abundance mindsets? Do you have any thoughts to that?
As of like to which one or both?
Either. The whole thing entirely.
Scarcity mindset.
Have you heard it much, or
I don't know if I really have
processed it?
Like any thoughts on scarcity mindset. I bet I could just give you a one sense of what I think about it, but
Okay.
I have thought about abundance mindsets because I don't know if I'd classify myself as quite abundant mindset, but kind of like an in between. Like I feel like a healthy balance of both. But I've thought about people that have an abundance mindset, just kind of thinking way too much about things that could possibly be very unachievable that people want to do, or just have those thoughts.
Like being unrealistic in what
Yes.
could be accomplished?
And I bring this, I've thought about this a lot, just this mindset, because my brother, he has a very abundant mindset. He's always talking about, like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. He's always saying all that stuff, and some of the things, it's like, yeah, you definitely could do that, but you've got to put in a lot of work and a lot of time to actually make that happen. And he's always talking about a bunch of things that actually require a lot of time, patience, and effort to actually like achieve these things. But he doesn't really actually put in the time and like effort to like make them happen.
Yeah.
But he always has those things that he wants to do. And I'm not saying that he can't do it, but he's just always has so many things that he wants to achieve.
He's looking at the car.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got so many like ideas and things that he wants to do, and I think that he can do them. Like, I'm more than confident, and I believe that he can do them. Because of the type of person that he is, that because when he actually puts in the work, I know he can get it done. But he just thinks about so many different things at one time, and not necessarily that they're unachievable.
Yeah.
But there's just so many that I don't think that he could get it done. So I have thought about that one quite a bit, just because of my brother. But scarcity mindset, I feel. Just my one sense on this is that I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing to have a scarcity mindset, but I don't think it's really good, because I feel like you're not going to be using your full potential on things if you have a scarcity mindset, because you'll just think like just on something simple, like, okay, I'll put in the effort, I'll do this, and then as soon as I'm done with this, I'll just be done with it, and you won't like actually reach your full potential, or like actually think about how you can actually improve on things that you've previously done. You just are there to do it, you get it done quick, and then you're out. So I feel like you won't be reaching your full potential with a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
And then for abundance mindset, I feel like you're just thinking about way too much to actually like achieve these things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with that. I think overall, most likely you're going to be better off with abundance mindset, but that comes with like if you're given a right hand with abundance, you need a left hand of put in the work, actually do something,
right?
You know, 'cause that's a problem I come to, just like your brother, is like thinking of all these things, but then like there's so many that we already talked about this a good bit. So then actually just picking something and doing it. And I don't know, for me, I think like the best thing is just, it's like if you're working a good abundance mindset, then there's an abundance of a lot of cognitive usage. You think about a lot of things, but at some point I think you need to let your body and spirit take you, if that makes sense. I think you need the body in the sense that you need to move it to have it actually do the work.
Right.
And then spirit in the sense that let that guide you into choosing one of those 10 things you thought of that feels good.
Okay.
Which is something very subjective, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really good to have that abundance mindset, and I think that's a good sign of like a healthy mental state. But there's that balance of mind, body, and spirit, and I think you use that spirit to connect whatever you might not. I can't even like exactly like I couldn't write a page about exactly like down to the detail what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that it's what's kind of pulling me along by
Right.
the chest almost, you know, and then have your hands working on it right now. Like be present, be in the physical space of the places that your spirit wants you to be and that your mind has dreamt up almost, I think is the best way to say it. Because I think like if you don't incorporate all three of those things, eventually you're going to find yourself into a scarcity mindset because things start to feel hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I have those mentee bees, you know.
A little add-on to that, I feel like with abundance mindset, I feel like the amount of limitations that are there when you have an abundance mindset is almost close to zero. Like, there are still some things that you think of that, like, okay, I can't do this because of this major roadblock. But I feel like with an abundance mindset, there's not as many as those. So I feel like you're thinking of all these things that you can do, and there's not that many limitations. So you're like, all right, like, I can do this. And that might lead you astray of your own mind, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As saying, like, I can do all of this because you don't think there's that many limitations there. And then when you're having all those aspirations and going into what you said of, like, this could lead into a scarcity mindset because you feel hopeless, like, you've got so many things going on and you're just like, it's not coming to you because you have so many, and it's like almost as you can't achieve it because it was so big and your aspirations were so large of what you had in mind that it could become scarcity mindset. So definitely I feel like limitations play a big role in that.
Yeah.
As of I don't want to say there's not any limitations, but they're not as many.
Yeah. So this is what I thought when you were saying that, which I really like what you said. I think life itself is going to limit you. Like we said earlier, it's unfair. You know, that like by default, that's what we're coming into.
Right.
And so we have to bring balance and counter that with that abundance mindset. Because if you come into something where you're already limited and then have a limited mindset, and you know, you see this play out in a lot of like sports adages and stuff like that, is a good way that plays out. But in general, it's already stacked against you, but then you stack your mental against you, and then you're definitely not going to succeed, you know?
Yeah, you're just going to think, oh, why even bother?
Yeah.
There's so many limitations, and I'm like, what's the purpose?
And I like what you said, that you could get lost in because you could, like, I probably have hundreds of ideas in this little journal of mine, and I could get lost in choosing one of the wrong ideas. And I think that's where you fully incorporate your whole body together, where you have to, at some point, you're searching for that flow state. You might need to like figure out where to get what place you want your body in. And I mean, like, physically speaking, whether that's in the gym or that's in an office setting or that's in your community or your church, or that's in your dining table with your family, you know. You can dream of the physical space. Like, I bet your brother has thought of many things, just like I have, of different spaces he wants to be in. But that's still a cognitive function. And then you let that line that your spirit kind of draws from you, that's kind of innate from you, in and pull you into that position so that your body is set and you can just do the work and find your flow state and go.
Right.
I think that's a good way to sum it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are good thoughts. Yeah.
Good Bosch thoughts.
I like that. It feels like we're mentally working out when we're going through these things. Like, I need to take a breath afterwards.
Well, I like it because you just make, like, you'll say something and then I'll be like, all right,
You'll
like
bring your
that,
piece.
and then it just kind of like all adds together, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't thought about it that way, but now that I actually think about it, it's like just adds on so
Kinda
much,
clicks, right?
And it's like, wow.
But it feels like working out mentally.
Yeah.
Like I'm slightly tired, but still like engaged with this. But like, I don't know. I can't even remember everything we talked about, but we've hit at least like 3 big things, I think, in general, where, and then we have these breaks in between where we will talk about our dick holes or how itchy our buttholes are or how hairy our nipples are. And
Pretty hairy.
And then we're getting a breather right now, and then something else is going to come on.
Something will spark. Nope, not yet.
I want to make eye contact with somebody.
You know what's really a blessing? RAM cash. I forgot about RAM cash, and I have like $200. So now I'm coming to the LSC a lot more.
You're not graduating, right?
No. It rolls over, but I kind of forgot about it.
Until you graduate, it rolls over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't use it on parking. I fucked with that
no,
too hard.
I do not use it on parking. I've been coming. Well, I haven't really been coming to LSC a lot. This is like the second or third time I've been here. But I got Panda the other day. Just because it was after lab. It was last week after BMS lab. And I was coming here.
After you ditched me?
Yes. And I got some Panda because I was so hungry because it lasted so long. And I just came here and they were like, how are you going to pay for that? And I was like, regular money? And then I thought, I was like, oh,
RAM cash.
RAM cash. And then I looked at my balance and I have like $200 some on there. I was like, hey, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely use that, man.
So basically, this Subway sandwich was like free, technically.
It wasn't, though.
It wasn't because I paid for the RAM cash, but still, I didn't use regular money. How do you feel about cryptocurrency?
Oh, shit. I think, like, if a friend was to ask me and I had an elevator ride to give it to him, don't invest any money you can't lose. But if you want to, dabble in it.
Right on.
And I think it is the future. How I really liked that it was explained to me was like, there's been hundreds of search engines, especially when the internet was just becoming a thing. But then through almost like an evolutionary process, we're now come out with like Google and like Microsoft, and then everything else was kind of forgot about. So if you get lucky and choose one of the thousands of cryptocurrencies that becomes the Google, quote unquote, good for you. But you really beat the odds if you did that. And that's why you play with money you can lose. Yeah, that's my thought. It's just like a lot of things that are new and up and coming. There's going to be a lot of things that die. And you don't want the dead thing. And it's a risk to bet on it. Yeah. That's my hot take. I think it's the future, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And going into what I think is me personally, I really don't know all that much about it. And I feel like I need to do more research just because I feel like it's going to be more and more prevalent as I go through my years. But right now, I feel like I just don't know like all that much about it.
It's on the blockchain, bro. The blockchain.
So yeah, I feel like I need to actually learn more about it because I have a sense of what it is and how it works, but like I've never invested in any cryptocurrency ever, and I've never like actually done or like went through the process of doing anything like that. So you need more education on that topic.
I have some crypto stock, but not a lot. Different things.
Dogecoin,
I have some Doge.
Bitcoin.
At that peak of the, I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit here. I was out camping and I like had $20 worth of shares of Doge way back. This was like last year when that big GameStop boom hit, and I get into service after camping for like 3 days, and I'm like in the passenger seat, got nothing to do. I'm like, oh, I'll check the stock market. Open my phone up. I could have sold my $20 worth of shares for $800 profit. From just that little, so that's and it booms and busts. So if you can catch it on the upslope, then hit it. but it's again a risk. But that's the possibility there.
Did you?
I did not.
What happened?
It's still in. I didn't.
You just
I don't
left it?
touch
Oh,
it.
okay.
No, I'm just like. I either have to be fully hands on with something or totally hands off.
Okay.
And so it's something that
Hands
like
off, vocab word. What is it?
not touching it.
No.
Hands off.
Hands off. Like, let it be.
Yeah.
What vocab word? Miss Duplessis loved this word.
Let it go.
Laissez-faire.
Oh,
Sorry, I thought you had Miss Duplessis class. That's
I
like
did,
imprinted in
I
my
love
brain
Duplessis,
because she loves that vocab
but that was
word.
not in my brain.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Different wavelengths. My bad. I'm sorry I threw you
Motherfucker.
off. You said you were either hands on or hands off of something.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, like I just put in a bunch of different things. I was like a lot of things, some of these will die and others will flourish, and then I'm not going to worry about it because I did it with money that I can lose. That was like 3 years ago. But yeah, I'd say dabble with, especially just stocks in general. Dabble with a couple hundos if you can, or $50. And I think of most apps these days let you do fractional shares, so play with that.
Need to get some Bitcoin.
Watch some vids. Yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, I wish I was in the time of the search engines to be able to speak on it better, but it's just one of the things that was like, Google kind of came out of nowhere, from my understanding, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people were using Yahoo, by my understanding, you know? And it's hard to say how the landscape will paint itself, but Yahoo could be Bitcoin. And so if you invest in Bitcoin, and Yahoo's, like, nobody talks about Yahoo anymore, you know? So it might be something else that comes out in 5 years that we're not even thinking about that just blows up. So do you want me to read that?
I did it.
You did it.
That was my stand goal.
Oh.
I haven't stood up for almost 2 hours,
Yeah, we've
but
been going
I
for a
did it
bit.
apparently. I did it.
But yeah, that's my take
Yeah.
on it.
Do you use paper money still?
When I have to. I have a credit card.
Wow.
I've had one for like 3 or 4 years.
Jesus, Bob.
Yeah.
Fancy. How old are you? You're only 22, right?
Yeah. Okay, maybe 3 years then. 22.
I don't have.
I got it right at the end of my first year of community college.
I don't have a credit card yet.
It's
Or I guess I was gonna apply for one, but you usually don't get a credit card until you're 21, unless you get like a school-sanctioned credit card.
there's certain ones you can get with no credit score. That's what I got.
I'm gonna get a Cabela's card probably.
Hmm.
One of many cards that I'm gonna get, but Cabela's probably.
Yeah.
'cause-
There's a book I can show you that'll help you, because it's like playing with fire. You can really use it to leverage. It can burn your house down.
Well, I don't really plan on using credit cards all that much. Like, honestly, if I just, like, I'm gonna have credit cards, but I feel like the most money usage that I'm gonna be using, unless it's like big purchases or something, that would help me pay off, like help me gain my credit score,
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably just use my checking account, because that's money I know I have and it's at the ready and I don't have to pay it off.
Yeah, but the using your checking account won't build your credit score.
I know, that's what
Okay.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to have a credit card and I'm still going to make purchases and things
Mhm.
on my credit card just so I can build up my credit and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
for most everyday things, I won't use it.
I use it for everything.
Do you?
Personally, I do. Just as long as you pay it off, have the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
I'm going to say that's just my mindset now, but like
Mhm.
once I
I have a
actually have one and like start actually getting to use it and things, I'll
Sorry.
probably use it more.
Oh God.
Um,
I have a couple books you could read that would really outline those. That would help you. One specifically that'll get you going real good.
well, I wish it was still like the old days where you just buy a candy bar with your credit card and then just slowly pay it off and just build your credit.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, you could buy a candy bar like back in the old days. You
Okay.
could just buy a
So
candy
something
bar
really
with your
cheap.
credit card,
Okay.
and then just slowly pay it off,
Mm.
just like slowly and slowly.
So I guess the modern equivalent of that is some
Buying
people
a
will
house
have
or a car.
not what I was gonna say, but maybe.
Uh.
You have your like I've thought about. I have my main credit card that I make all my purchases on,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a little bit of cash back and pay that off, and I'm good. I thought about getting a second credit card where I just put one subscription on it, like Netflix or something like that, and have that automatically pay off.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows that you have now two cards that are. It's I think the equivalent modern day
Mm-hmm.
of what you got.
Yeah. You can't do that anymore, but you
The
used to
candy
be able-
bar thing?
You used to be able to.
Well, I feel like you kind of can because you can
can't
just pay your minimums.
I think Mark Logan told me about that
Mm.
in like a football practice or something.
Huh.
It was random. I can't remember who told me, but it was at some sporting event practice because it was just out of nowhere.
Every time I think of him, I think of that lion quote he gave us right before our last game.
Lion quote?
Yeah. He's like, when you're going to go kill a tiger, it was either a tiger or a lion. Do you not remember this right before the last game?
What did he say?
He was right before the last game where we played West Grand.
Uh-huh.
He was, there's two ways. What did he say? I don't remember the exact words. I just remember the energy with it. There's two ways to...
Is it 2 ways to skin a lion?
No, it was like, maybe, but it was like two ways to go kill a lion. You can either go out and fight it or sneak up behind it and choke the shit out of it or something like that, he said.
I vaguely remember that. I don't...
That stuck with me. The more the energy did.
Sneak up behind and choke the shit out
That's
of
what
it.
he said, and his eyes got real big. And you know that man has the power for destruction. He just is good at holding it.
Mhm.
He's one of those guys, that is a very strong man, And that's still in my head where you just sneak up behind him and choke
That
the
is
shit
funny.
out of it. It's like I was picturing choking the shit out of a lion. I was like, fuck.
Let's fucking go.
Because it's like you can try to take it one-on-one, mano-a-mano,
Mhm.
and have this long, drawn-out battle where maybe you win.
Or you can be smarter than the
Or you just
enemy.
be smart and end it as quick as you can, choke the crap out of it. But coming from him, it was like, wow, powerful words from this man.
Do you still have a checking account?
I do have a checking account. Yeah, that's where I get all my direct deposits from work, and then I use that to pay off my credit card. One of my friends listened to our podcast and texted me about the breast milk in stores. I believe the reason why you can't have breast milk in stores is because it's a controlled substance because it's a bodily fluid from a human, so it would be under the hazmat category. Also, I believe that you can get some STDs through some bodily food.
I feel like that is true. That would fall under the hazmat category, but I don't personally. I don't know. I don't think you can get
we would
STDs
test
from
our
bodily
milk.
fluids, but I don't think you can get it from breast milk.
We would test our milk anyways.
Well, yeah, but I still don't think.
I
you
just
can
think it's
get-
hilarious he watched it and commented on it.
That's awesome.
What a good guy.
Hell yeah.
That's another guy I want to have a good conversation with. We're calling earlier today, and we're like half an hour in, and we're like, dude, we should be recording right now. Like we're talking about good
I
shit.
should be recording.
It's not a problem. Like my efficiency mindset will get in the way and I have to balance it. But I'm
Mhm.
like, I want all of my good conversations to be recorded
Yeah.
now.
You should get a tape recorder.
This can act as that. It has an attachment that would go on top that has two microphones, and I can just wave it around. So I can do that with this, actually. Yeah, I thought about like doing random interviews and shit. You could do anything with
There was
it.
some guy in the
LSC? Rec?
Corbett Foundry.
Foundry.
God.
Corbett.
The little community space out front of Foundry in Corbett. There was a
Interviewing
guy.
people?
Yeah, he just had like a table set up, and he was like, he had a sign that said "Want to earn $10" or something, and he had like whole setup, and he was like interviewing people
Huh.
or asking them questions.
That's cool.
It probably was for like a research based thing, but
That's something I thought about, is like you see all these videos of guys asking questions on the street for money and stuff like that. I wonder if we're just going to see a lot more of those pop up, because I feel like it's starting to... There's like a few people that did it, and then obviously things catch fire.
Mhm.
And so then there's going to be a... Are you tickling me? Was that a fly? That you were tickling me.
I'm bouncing my leg. I'm sorry. I have ADHD.
No, I thought a bug was on me. That's why I'm worried. I have a lot of spiders in where I live. I killed 2 this morning.
Oh, God.
Yeah. One was like bigger than a quarter on the ceiling. And I just grabbed a rag and like did a Mario jump up and hit it.
Did a Mario jump. I know exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
Mario jump.
But we were talking about money and this made me think about it. I was telling you about my laptop and having problems with it. And the whole thing with a credit card is you just don't spend money that you don't have, you know? And so that's why I'm waiting for this month to be over to know that I have enough funds to buy a laptop with my credit card.
To look up books?
I want to use the laptop to edit videos. Like, I want to take all these segments of us getting down to deep stuff. Like, I think we've covered, like, at least 2 to 3 things in this conversation. And then splice those in the clips and have those posted as well. Just to have.
Still got to have the dick talk in here, though.
Well, anybody, because we'll hook them with these clips that are about actual things. And then they'll be like, man, these guys talk about their buttholes a lot. Or holes in general. Or breast milk. But yeah, I want to splice content apart. What?
Nothing.
Tell us.
No.
Did you think that lady was cute?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. I only saw her backside.
I turned around because I saw the front.
You wanted both? You wanted all the
I
perspectives.
was intrigued.
I don't like that you're rubbing my knee as we talk about this.
Oh, sorry.
Jesse,
I can't reach that far.
Yeah, that was my balls.
What were we just talking about? Oh yeah,
My
have
laptop
enough-
and finances and stuff. So, I guess you made me think of that because just to be smart, you know, I think I do have enough funds to get a laptop, but I want to get something that can edit video and handle the processing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like to get the full suite of
Are you gonna get a laptop or a desktop?
I would like laptop just so it's mobile. That's why I like this setup because I like having options. So I'd like a editing laptop to be able to take to things. And then I would like to pay for the full suite of software, but I'm looking for people to have on here. By the way, I'm looking for eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's making eye contact. There's a lot less people here now.
I just loved watching your eyes on that because I do the same thing. I'm just like, all right.
But then the full suite is like $300 for the editing stuff. But it's a one-time purchase. It's not monthly like Adobe. All these things I'm thinking about. Because I'd like to splice these up. Like there's some parts in our first one. Cut up the sorority chicks coming in and send them. I would like to send them that link.
Yeah.
Because that'd be fun. I think I talked to you about this, but I want to get a camera to have this filmed.
You did not tell me that.
I'd like to have this filmed as well so we could see each other and people that come in, we can see them and everything like that. It just adds another dynamic because, I mean, part of this is getting posted to YouTube. So having that video component would be good. Stuff like that. But like a solid camera. And I think you have to like hack them or something like that to get past the 30-minute mark because most don't record past 30 minutes, which I don't understand. But like bare bones best camera or budget but solid camera was like $500, and then need a stand for it. So there's a lot of purchases I want to make. This was the bare bones setup, you know. I hope to, as episodes go, we can improve on this, you know. But yeah, it's funny my friend listened to it.
I like that.
That makes me happy.
I'm glad we have a view.
But yeah, I want to cut stuff up and everything.
What was that one, Bosch? That one wasn't even a...
I'm a dirty dog. I wanted to look. What did I want to look at? I totally forgot what I was going to search.
Also, for any listeners out there, my fraternity is throwing a spike ball tournament this Wednesday, tomorrow. what's the date? April 27th. It's at City Park, Fort Collins, 4:30. If anybody listens to this at this time, you can sign up on our website. It helps out our philanthropy a lot, so if you can make it, please do.
Yeah. And like promotions like this, I could clip that and throw it online. And I think that would be nice because it would add a more incentive for somebody to sit down here to promote things, as long as it's not totally fucking crazy, you know? Stuff like that. And hopefully it's local people as well, so we're doing local things, you know? I have a lot of... Stop that. I have a lot of dreams. I'm looking at a lot of pieces of the car that I'm very happy about, you know? Some of it's got this financial barrier or a equipment barrier. But the other part is that I'm learning is like a time barrier. I've been having to have a lot of patience with myself. Like I had to find different things to do because if I had a laptop that was working this morning, I would have cut up clips. That would have been the primary thing I was doing. Instead, I read a little bit and wrote a little bit. But the primary thing to do is I'd love to be making more clips, you know? So that was kind of disappointing, but I don't know. We're recording now, you know? We're still making things happen. And I can still go back and cut all these things up. It'd be nice just to, like, film or record and then cut it and then have everything released and done, you know? But is what it is, I guess. I'd like to try to draw somebody in. Step into my web. Oh, you ever sit on your balls?
Sometimes.
Gosh.
It does hurt.
Golly.
I saw it was on Instagram,
I know that,
so
man.
I don't know how, like, accurate it was. But apparently they did research. And it's like, what the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know.
What were we just talking about?
Sitting on balls.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know why, but I just lost my train of thought through that. But he was like, yeah, it's statistically proven that man spreading isn't just because we want a man spread, it's because we don't want to sit on our balls and like crush them.
Yeah. It's also like a power thing.
That's what it disproved.
Oh. I think it's all of it.
We don't do it.
This is the
because
spectrum
we
thing,
want
dude.
to.
It's everything. It's
it.
everything.
But that was on Instagram, and I don't know where it was from. But
I believe the ball talk.
Yeah.
Oh. No.
Oh, yeah.
4:10 right now. When did you said 4:30.
I can push that back too. Like it's not.
Oh, this is the climbing shirt I got. Sprinkling
Oh, was that from the
comp. So much fun.
How was it?
So much fun.
Good.
Oh my god.
How did they like score it?
So they set 32 different routes. One's obviously easier than 15 is easier than 32. So it scales like that. And then you get 2 hours to climb, and they take your top 5 best routes you did.
Do they just have like judges walking around watching you?
Yeah. So you like, they had different sections, and you put your card in, you get in line, you get one try at the route, and then
Right on.
go. And it was fun. I like warmed up on a couple easy ones just to have like a scorecard built, you know, build it up a bit, and then worked on some harder stuff. And then the last 20 minutes, I was going hard trying to like get my lower scores up, you know. And one of the things I was working on was like this number 12, and I like saw one dude do it in 2 tries, and I was about at his level, and I failed the start 3 times. And so I went back and I was like, I'm gonna do a couple other things because I need Alyssa. Yo, what's going on?
What are you doing?
We're talking.
You want to be in a podcast?
No.
No?
Damn.
Come and sit. Talk with us.
I'm eating food.
That's fine.
We can do ASMR about me eating
I
peanut
don't want your
bread.
ASMR though. That smells good though.
You want to buy it?
No, because I don't want the whole thing,
Okay.
and I can't do that to you.
Panda's so good.
We
Yeah, I'll sit over there. As long as it's not in the way of the thing.
Just kick my shit.
lots of cords. That's all.
So
Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, so this route 3 times failed. And then right as I start it, I came back to it. Right as I'm getting set up on it, they say, time's out, finish your last route. It's like, fuck. And the first move I was failing on every single time. And so then I like muscle it and get the first grab. And I'm like, okay. And it was in a good spot where I could kind of shake my hands out, which felt kind of cool too. Because when you can do that on the route, you feel kind of badass. And I climbed up and got the whole thing and got the better score. So that felt really good.
You are all that is man. I'd just like to say that.
Thank you.
Did they like email you if you won?
They weren't doing any prizes or anything like that. I think they're going to post the scores, though. They had 4 sessions and a lot of people. And there's a lot of better climbers out there. But
so you can show your superiority?
No. It was still fun to join and participate.
No, Bosh. It's about the winning. We don't play for participation trophies.
I need to get you a mic.
Yeah?
Because I can barely hear you with the
I
headphones
did
on.
not hear that.
You sure you don't want to hop in?
Whoa.
Step into the matrix.
I can only stay for 40 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll probably won't go that long.
Okay. Cool.
Any talking points
I
you want to
need a
hit?
third mic.
I think a pizza party is very important. And
Pizza
any
party.
amount of win you should have gotten, it should have been winning pizza.
The prizes should have been
That
a
is
pizza
a
party.
good prize.
That is a good prize. I did get some day passes to the local climbing spots, which is all right.
Is that as cool as pizza?
No.
No.
I would take the day passes over pizza, but pizza's pretty
No.
good.
A day pass over pizza.
I would.
What about a really good pizza?
But that's because I'm crazy about climbing.
wait. But you're crazier about food.
I do like food a lot.
So pizza would be the better prize.
So Pizza Bosh. What's your favorite pizza? If you could make any pizza.
I just like a lot of meat on mine.
Explain. What meat? I want to know to the detail your favorite pizza.
I don't have a particular favorite.
Make your favorite.
It has banana peppers on. Well, it depends on what I'm feeling.
It's like if you had a smoke circle, but it was
Smoke
pizzas, who would be in your smoke circle of pizzas? You know, like if you're like having a smoke circle, like my ideal smoke circle would be like Post Malone and Snoop Dogg and Martha
Oh.
Stewart, right?
Oh.
What is your smoke circle of pizzas?
Like, is each person a slice?
yeah,
So I get to make multiple different slices.
yeah.
Oh, okay. One
Was
slice.
that not clear? I'm
no.
sorry.
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about one particular pizza I
No.
would build.
No.
One slice would have
How many-
jalapenos and cream
How many
cheese.
slices?
Huh?
How many slices?
There's 8 slices in a pizza.
You can make more.
Well, I'll
It's
make
your
as many
pizza.
as what sounds good to me.
All right.
I like a good cream cheese and jalapeno pizza, a good margarita pizza I really like. Oddly enough, I'm not a big fan of Supreme, even though I like meat. No, keep that down. I like a lot of meats, like a good sausage, like pepperoni and Canadian bacon or something like that. Pizza, that's one thing. Yeah.
You're not helping me here.
Ooh, like a mushroom, banana pepper, pepperoni pizza. I like banana peppers. That sounds good. Meatball pizza. Ooh, barbecue chicken pizza.
Barbecue chicken's so good.
Those are all good.
So good. Barbecue chicken pizza.
That mac and
From
cheese
California
pizza
Pizza
I had.
Kitchen.
California pizza. That mac and cheese pizza I had from Slice was really good.
Have you ever had the mac and cheese pizza at Crazy Carl's? It's very good.
I had their waffle fries on a pizza. And then I cooked my own chicken breast and sauteed it and sliced it up and put it on said pizza. So it was a waffle fry chicken
So it was
pizza.
a leftover pizza then, though.
Well, I did their the like time thing that they do
Oh,
where you
I
pay
see.
like if you get it at 5 o'clock you pay $5 for the pizza.
I see.
And so I got like a couple one topping things, but then I cooked some stuff on the side to put on top to make it to dress them up better, you know. So that's what I did. And I was curious about the waffle fries, so I put that on it.
Were they good?
On pizza, I'd rather have it just on the side with some good sauce.
I got a grinder there once because on like Tuesdays.
The
or
grinder
something-
nights,
Yeah,
yeah.
grinder nights.
Are they good?
A grinder in Pueblo, Colorado. A grinder is an Italian sausage patty with banana peppers and like lettuce and mustard
Okay.
and like
Sounds right.
red onions or something like that, you know?
Mhm.
The grinder at Crazy Carl's is not that. I was taken aback. I don't even remember what it was, but
Don't
it
they
wasn't
have-
that.
Don't they have multiple flavors?
I don't know. It was just a sandwich.
No.
And it wasn't anything with Italian sausage.
Mm.
I was very confused.
Mm.
I think Crazy Carl's is kind of overrated.
Mm. It's good for some cheap pizza.
Hmm
It's one of those stops, like Domino's almost is.
I think Cosmo's has better cheap pizza. It's like
Does it?
It's like very cheap,
Mm-hmm.
and you know it's cheap because it's literally just like the thinnest goddamn crust you've ever seen in
I
your
love
whole
thin
life,
crust too.
and like floppy like length of your arm sized slices. But they're only like $2.
Sounds like my grinder profile.
Ayo.
A floppy arm length piece.
Moving on from pizza,
Okay.
have you ever been to DP Dough?
I don't think I have actually. I don't think I have.
I have.
I've had Bojo's and
It's a calzone.
Cosmos.
It's just a
Oh.
folded up pizza.
Is all of theirs calzones?
Mostly.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
I need to culture you. We
Yeah,
need to
I
go
would
there.
love to go there.
So good. Bosh.
We did Italian last time.
I'm telling you, when this is the best calzone you will ever put in your mouth. It is the best calzone you'll ever put in your mouth.
Really?
Ever.
Sounds good.
I agree. I had the Hawaiian Calzone. It was very good.
Does it have pineapple in it?
So good.
Yes.
I'll pass on that. I don't like pineapple on pizza. I'm those.
But it's a calzone, not a pizza.
That's right.
I don't like
It's
the
a calzone, not a pizza.
I don't like the cooked fruit part. That's what gets me.
What if all of the other ingredients were cooked and then they just put fresh pineapple?
I just eat it on I would rather have it on the side.
But you could do the combination, like one bite of pizza, one bite of pineapple.
Nope.
One bite of pizza, one bite of pineapple.
No. It's like the waffle fries. I'll take them on the side, please.
Okay.
Yeah. My other like thing that I don't think a lot of people give credit to with pineapple on pizza is that even if you got it, people always say you can pick it off, but the juices still
yeah.
reside in the
Mhm,
pizza. It's not like a mushroom where you can pick it
Agreed.
off.
No, I still can do mushrooms.
Does it residual
It does.
stay?
It's like residual dirt taste.
Do you not like mushrooms?
No, I hate them.
Oh, I like mushrooms.
I like the dirt.
I think mushrooms have the texture of an 8-year-old.
Of an 8-year-old?
80.
Oh,
80-year-old.
was
They
gonna
have
say,
the
how many-
texture of an 80-year-old.
how many 8-year-olds
And they
have
just
you?
taste like dirt, and there's nothing good about them.
I heard 8-year-old too.
Okay. They have the mushrooms have the texture of an 8-year-old.
I would like to know
How
how
many-
you know what the texture of an 8-year-old
Yeah.
is.
Explain yourself.
No, 80. An old person.
Mm.
It's like when you saute a mushroom up
Mm-hmm.
in like a pan, you know what I mean? Or if it's like cooked at all, it just becomes a little leathery brown, like 80-year-old.
Sack of shit.
It just becomes like a nursing home resident.
Mm.
Follow-up question. How do you know what the texture of an 80-year-old person is?
It's just, I know things.
Explain.
I've been places.
I've been places. I've been around the block a few times.
Bosch's house on a Saturday night. Yeah.
What?
You're eating some 80-year-olds
Clean out.
on a Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this weekend.
I'm their
It
trophy
was
boy.
a big 80-year-old eating party.
Big 80-year-old eating party.
That's what the Jungle Juice was really made of this weekend.
Oh, it was?
80-year-olds.
I thought you just sprinkled some in, but was it
Just a little.
entirely?
It was entirely 80-year-old juices.
Entirely 80. Oh, God. I work with that, though, dude. That's disgusting. We had a big ant problem the other day where
Ant?
this lady had to be evacuated out of her room because there's just ants everywhere.
Sugar ants?
I don't
Like
know.
just sugar ants?
Some were
Like-
flying ants.
Oh,
Others were normal ants.
or like fire ants that actually bite you.
I think they were black. I think they were carpenter ants.
So they just like were just chilling, minding their own business.
And then they attacked.
These ants were just on the hunt for food.
They were looking for that skin.
They were looking for 80-year-old
For that
deliciousness.
sweet 80-year-old mushroom.
Bites bottom lip, for those of you that can't see.
God. Oh. We've almost been going for 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Who listens to this? What's your audience?
I mean, this is like the third one. Just us. We re-listen to it together and get high.
And you're like, wow, what a good show.
What a good show. We're clapping for different moments.
You are our audience now. You need to send her the links.
I can send you the link.
It's on Spotify?
It is actually.
Really?
Yeah, and
Anyone can get
YouTube.
on that bitch these days, huh?
Spotify's pretty easy to get on because I've
Damn.
been having to go through it all.
I found a really good party mix on Spotify, and it's like a house EDM song, and it got taken off, and I'm really sad about it.
I like house. I have a good house playlist if you want it.
Really?
Yeah.
You do. No one else likes it.
I
I
like
can't play it
house.
at parties. Amelia goes like, "This is bad. This isn't party music." I'm like, "This is literally the epitome of party music."
Yeah. I do like house.
I like house.
No, YouTube's easy to get on. Not YouTube. Spotify's easy to get on. This is on YouTube, I guess, too. If my computer didn't broke, I would cut up the goods. We talked about this. I would want to cut up the good sections on it and post it as well to actually have like.
To like edit.
Yeah, because we talked about some good kind of deep stuff during this. Like I'd say like 3 times maybe, and then between it we like talked about penises or something random and casual. You know.
What's your favorite hole in the body?
The belly button.
That's not
Interesting.
A hole.
Explain.
Wait, I have
It's
more
definitely
questions.
a hole. It used to be a hole. It's still technically a hole. If you really get in there, there's connections through your belly button to like your liver or something like that, or like your bladder or like some of your internal intestines. It's technically still a hole. I have an outie, sort of. And so like
So it's a mountain. It's a little hill. It's not a hole.
it's not necessarily. I don't have an outie. It's kind of just like flat with like a little spiral, but it's not like a deep crater or a mountain. It's just like in the middle. And so mine is like, it's like an innie that has a door.
I see what you're saying. I like the answer, but I have more questions than when we started. Like a pothole in the street. Is that a hole?
Yeah.
I picture a hole
It's
as
a
going
crevice.
through, though. Like, fully through.
No, that's a tube.
Oh,
Me and Amelia and Jonah have had heated debates for hours.
I believe this.
And hours and hours.
I believe this.
On the difference between holes,
And
tubes, and pipes.
Ooh. New question at the end.
If it's the door-
I have one.
Oh.
It's not the door one.
Oh, we could ask her yours.
Yes. Okay. This is my question to
You remember it?
Yeah. Of course I remember it.
I don't remember it.
Ouch. It was a really stupid question. All right. Do you enjoy ice cream in summer
I
or
remember.
winter, and explain your reasoning?
I'm from Colorado. I'm an ice cream all year round kind of bitch. All year.
I like the quick answer. Okay.
I'm a passionate believer in that you can never cut off your ice cream consumption. If you're not eating ice cream because it's cold, it just means you're weak, and natural selection will get you.
Damn. Okay.
I would like your answer now too, Bosh.
I remember us talking about this last time, though.
Mm-hmm.
This gets to something that's not even not exactly the rooms thing. Where like, this is my thing about like people in the winter list
Oh yeah.
is like, you wake up in your warm bed in your warm house, and then you like put on your warm clothes, and then maybe walk 5 minutes, depending on who you are, to your car or your class, into your warm room, have class in your warm room, go to eat lunch in your warm dining room.
Yes.
Then go from there to your warm bed and sleep in your warm bed and
Yes.
warm room.
Yes.
I don't know why anybody complains about the cold during the winter.
Because when you walk outside,
For 5
it's
minutes.
cold.
But you sleep for
No,
8
I'm
hours
walking
in a
across
warm
campus
bed.
Sometimes it's
You're a
like
baby.
15-minute walk. It's cold. I have like 3% body fat. Okay. There's nothing on these bones. It's just like immediately outside. It's just like shivering. And women have less blood circulation to their like peripheral
To their extremities.
to their extremities,
Mhm.
and so my hands are cold as we speak, and my nose,
I'm warm.
and my ankles a little bit.
Really?
You can feel temperature in your ankles?
Absolutely. Sometimes my butt cheeks get cold. Like most evenings I get into bed and like they're a little chilly today. My fingers constantly cold all the time.
Really? Even in the
Without-
summer?
Even in the summer. Even on very nice days.
Why do you think women have
Because all of your blood
That.
circulates around your uterus all the time.
protect the baby? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That is physiologically true.
That blows.
Physiologically true. I
That
was
makes
a pre-med
sense.
major before I dropped it.
Ayo, pre-med, let's go. Fuck you, Bosh.
Oh, damn. So I guess I don't mind having ice cream anytime. But at the same time, we're eating it in a warm room.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that big of a deal, in my opinion.
Okay, here's my answer. I enjoy ice cream more in the winter because in the summer it melts, and when your ice cream gets all melty, it's just like eating warm, sweet cream.
Mm.
Like it's not technically like warm, but it's not cold, and it's like just eating cream, and I don't like that. I like the ice consistency of ice cream when it's cold, and that is better in winter, not summer.
I agree.
Yeah.
100,000%. Emilio believes that you have to let the ice cream thaw on the counter for like 10 minutes before you scoop it. And by then, it's melted in your bowl. And then it's just eating liquid.
I'm
It's
not
terrible.
against that, personally.
You thaw? You eat the liquid?
Maybe not 10 minutes. That seems like a lot. But 5?
You're a sick bastard.
You want me to really drive it home for you?
All right.
When I was younger, I would make up the nicest like little sundae, and then I would microwave it for a little bit to warm it up.
Okay.
Your face is so has so much.
So-
I don't do that anymore, but I used to do that.
I enjoy ice cream more when it's cold and frozen, but I also do still enjoy a frozen scoop of ice cream on a warmed up piece of apple pie.
Ooh, that sounds good. Or brownie. That
Brownies.
sounds good too. Brownie.
Or any warm dessert is
Yeah.
automatically made better with ice cream on top.
With a small glass of milk on the side.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the trifecta right there.
It's like chocolate chip cookies, but then you make them like the Trader Joe's ice cream sandwiches. There's 2 chocolate chip cookies with ice cream in the middle, rolled in chocolate chips. It's amazing.
Mm.
The Big Boy is what they were called in Oak Creek.
The big.
It's literally what they were called.
I want to show you some teeth.
This is what we were talking about earlier today.
Well, we were talking about this last time.
Oh, yeah. I have another question for your book.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the skull of a dead baby? Like with all of its baby teeth intact?
That's a normal
It's
morning for
horrifying.
me.
It's terrifying. There's just 2.
And that's where we'll end the segment. Thank you for tuning in today, because Bosch has overstepped
Did you say
his
a baby
boundaries.
skull with no teeth?
A baby skull with all of its teeth. Like it
Oh.
has its baby teeth on still,
Oh.
and then its adult teeth are underneath.
Oh, I have seen that actually.
And it's-
Because they're like
It's
locked and
gross.
loaded, ready to go.
It's like they're in little cavities.
Yeah.
It gives me nightmares every day. I had a nightmare last night.
Okay.
I had a nightmare last night that Emilio was schizophrenic
Oh.
and had dual personality disorder or something, and
Okay.
kidnapped me. But
Okay.
like we lived together, so like not kidnapped, but like entrapped me in the house.
Yeah.
And then like he was schizophrenic in my mind, but I know that's not what schizophrenia is. But like it was more like dual personality.
Okay.
And he would be like hallucinating and going fucking crazy.
Okay.
And then he would switch back and be like, "Why are you so scared?" And then we'd like go out and and he would like make sure that I couldn't like talk to anybody, like talk to the police or anything for like, because he like didn't want me to like,
Rat on him.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really weird dream.
Yeah.
It's like not explainable. I don't know. It was weird.
I love dissecting dreams.
It was.
Do you want to dissect this?
Yeah, it was a strange dream. I woke up unsettled.
To me, it sounds like you feel like there's 2 sides to him that just kind of pop out of nowhere. And sometimes it feels like you're held hostage. That's what I
Really?
read out of that. And I could be wrong.
That's not a positive outlook.
No, it's not. Your dream's not positive.
No, it was a very weird dream.
Yeah. But to me, dreams are like a way to, like we have everything we see right now, and then our dreams in the background at night are trying to put together everything that we saw and drain out different things that are unneeded and kind of work things around abstractly. And so it sounds like these are like abstract, and they're usually blown up in like really exaggerated versions of like maybe you feel there's like two different personalities that kind of split out.
Yeah. I also have been watching a lot of Moon Knight lately.
What's Moon Knight?
You haven't watched Moon Knight yet? It's a
No.
Marvel show based off of this character. He's like, it's like Marvel's take on like ancient Egyptian gods.
Oh, okay.
And there's like, and the premise is that all of the ancient Egyptian gods have like hosts, like avatars, almost like humans.
Okay, yeah.
And the god of death or some shit like has this host, and it's Oscar Isaac. And
Newton?
yeah, no, I don't know. The one from Star Wars. And
Maybe I'm mixing
I don't know
things
what
up.
else he's in, but
Oh, okay. That's the actor. Okay.
yeah. That's the actor, and he's the god of death's host.
Okay.
But he has dual personality disorder, like just as a human, and so one of his personalities is like his name is Mark Spector, and he's like an assassin or like a private agent, like contract killer kind of thing. And then the other personality is this British guy that is very sweet and innocent and works in a gift shop in an Egyptian museum.
Okay.
And like every episode they're like fighting bad guys, right? And then they'll like his eyes will like roll back into his head, and like that's when his personality switches. And then like I think that like my theory is that there's a third personality, because in the last episode he was like he had killed a bad guy, and it's like his eyes rolled back and he switched, and he can talk to his other personalities in mirrors. And so Mark was talking to the British guy in the mirror, and they were like both blaming each other for killing these bad guys, and
Okay.
they were both like, it was you bitch. And so I think that there's a third personality, and I've been watching a lot of that lately. So
Okay. So maybe that influenced you a bit.
I think so.
And then it cast it on Emilio.
Yeah.
Which could be also a possibility.
And also Oscar Isaac is like hot, right? And like mildly looks like Emilio. Like if Emilio grew up and like got a
Looked-
better haircut.
Okay. God damn. Fair.
It is a good show, by the way. You should watch it.
Okay.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's really good. And there's a lot of just like cool imagery. Like there's only like 6 episodes of
Is
this
it live
show.
action?
Yes.
Okay.
Like you mean like real actors?
Yeah.
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 But like every episode, it's like the end credit scene. You know how Marvel always does end credit scenes? But like the end credit scene isn't like a preview of the next episode or like anything like that. It's just like imagery. And so it's like there's going to be 6 episodes, and the starting episode started with like a waning crescent moon. And then by the 3rd episode, it was like a half moon. And
Okay.
so by the last episode, it's going to be like a full moon. And then it's like also like images of the skyline of whatever city they're in. So like Cairo or like London.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty. It's a pretty
Yeah.
show.
So they're like set designs really nice as
Yeah.
well. Gotcha. Yeah.
And there's a really cool scene where the Egyptian god like is turning back the night sky to how it was when Alexander the Great died, because they were trying to find his tomb using
Okay.
like star maps
Okay.
from like ancient Egypt.
Okay.
And it was a really cool scene, because then like the sky, like all the night sky was like spinning around like crazy. It was really cool.
Okay.
You'd like it,
Yeah.
I think.
Did you watch Invincible?
Yeah, I did.
I like Invincible a lot.
Same vibe,
Yeah.
sort of.
Sort of. I like Invincible.
I liked Invincible.
Season 3 of Love, Death, Robots is coming out too. Did you ever watch those? Did you watch those? Ooh, those.
You
are good.
didn't? They're almost like every episode is different. They're like skits. They're like skit cartoons.
But like mostly not lighthearted. They're pretty
No.
serious.
Yeah.
I was
Different.
going to say like
stories.
Letterkenny. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. But they have some narrative to it. These are like completely different stories and completely different universes and dimensions, and even like art styles
Oh, wow.
as well. Like they're all completely different every single time. Did you have class you have to go to?
I have to tutor at 5 p.m.
Oh, you're tutoring. Nice.
Tutoring calculus.
Are you in calc yet?
I've already taken calculus.
Oh, okay.
In high school.
That's
I don't
right.
have to take any more math classes.
Nice.
Did you have to do PACE? Did you have to do PACE here? The algebra?
He got it done in
online?
our high school.
No.
so we didn't have to deal with any of that
Oh,
BS.
you didn't do pace here either?
Nope.
Wow. It was terrible.
I didn't even do calc though.
I was gonna say I did everything up until calculus in high school, and then I think that was it. I don't have to take any more for bless you and for HES.
Nice. Nice. You want some kombucha?
No.
This one's
good.
sweet. This one's sweet.
It is. It's good.
I'm not a booch person. It tastes like rotten apple juice.
This one's good.
It's better. It's definitely better.
Is it from yours?
Yeah, it is.
You
I
made
won't
it?
lie. Yeah, I made it.
She's got little chunks in the bottom.
Yeah, there's
Do they always like
some chunkers.
like if you buy kombucha at the store, is there
Yep.
little Sobe chunkers?
You'll
in
see
there?
little floaters. What?
This one's not bad.
It's
It
pretty
tastes
good,
like
right?
cider.
Yeah.
I think all kombucha just sort of tastes like apple juice.
Mm-hmm. But then you can mix it with stuff
Oh.
for the second fermentation.
Second?
Yep.
Your SCOBY actually sometimes gives me nightmares. It's just like the flaps. Like there's so many layers
The
in it.
pancake flaps.
It looks so weird.
You should see. I have my normal jar that I had, and then I have I think 1 gallon, and I have I think it's like a 5 gallon, and it's called a SCOBY Hotel, and it's just like a reserve on the side. So I don't pull any drinks from it, but I just have it on the side, and it just sits there.
It's bigger.
It's
but
called a hotel, and so think of that jar I had, but a 5 gallon, and the water's only halfway, but then it's just SCOBYs down. It's full of SCOBYs.
But it's bigger, but it's just like just to house SCOBYs.
Yeah,
Not for
yeah.
drinks.
Because before I accidentally killed the one you knew. I killed that one.
Wait, that original one is
Yeah,
dead.
I accidentally killed it.
What is the SCOBY actually made out of?
Yeast and bacteria. SCOBY
Mm.
stands for like something. SCOBY's an acronym, actually.
Is it like, you know how people when they make sourdough,
Mm-hmm.
there's like
A fermentation.
only one specific strain of fermentation that you can use?
Yep.
Is it like that?
Yep.
Oh.
SCOBY acronym. I always forget it.
Hmm.
Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Yep. And so you just feed it tea and sugar and water.
Tea?
Tea leaves.
Oh. I thought you meant like iced tea. You just like pour iced tea on the
Well,
top of the SCOBY.
I'll brew black tea and then put that like mixture in it.
Hmm.
And then you're actually drinking, I guess, it's excrement technically because it takes in all the sugar and the
Mhm.
tea and the water and makes that.
That's actually kind of gross.
When you think of it.
A little bit.
But like we drink milk.
Yes.
Listen, milk is great.
I'm not saying it's bad.
It's amazing.
Milk is a different kind of game than nutrients, excrement from bacteria. You know?
Feels like you're describing milk to me.
It's like milk is like a byproduct of
This is a byproduct.
well, it's like you make it like for the intention of it being eaten, even if humans technically should not probably eat cow milk. Like it's it's full of nutrients to be eaten by a
Mhm.
baby animal.
Yeah.
But
This is full
This-
of nutrients
this
to be
is-
eaten.
this is like hair and nails of a like
No.
hair and nails are like waste product that we're getting rid of
Mm-hmm.
or urine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This
we're
is
drinking
like,
the urine.
This is like the waste excrement
Mhm.
of the SCOBY. It's
Yeah.
like it's hair and nails
No, more urine's better.
or
but,
urine.
But it's like it's the better example is like we're breathing in like the gassy excrement from plants. If you think
Yeah.
about it, that's what they produce as a byproduct.
That's-
But
yeah.
then we breathe that in. That's going into your lungs, and then we put out our excrement that goes to plants because they feed off that carbon dioxide.
It's fair.
So that's I think a more fair analogy because we're kind of sucking on plant excrement every
Yeah.
time we breathe.
It's just like I've seen a lot of cell cultures in all of my like biology labs. They're pretty gross.
Yeah, yeah, that's what the floaters are. The
And
floaters are
and
little
imagining
scobies.
that is like
I don't see one.
as like a ginormous cell culture is just like turned into a SCOBY. It's kind of yucky.
Yeah,
Kind of yucky.
a little yucky.
But also, I've only seen like E. coli cell cultures, things like that.
E. coli not good.
No.
Too. Yeah.
Today, in my biology lab, we looked at bull sperm under a microscope.
Let's go.
It
Was I the
looked-
donor?
It looked like a night sky, actually.
A night sky.
It was weird. We put it under. We made a wet mount, right? You put some like chemicals of sperm and chemicals, and you put them on a slide. You make a wet mount, and you put it under the microscope, and you observe them, and it did not look like sperm. Like you know, how it just looks like a little round head with a little tail.
Yeah.
It didn't look
It
like
didn't?
that. It just was like a bunch of circles. They looked like stars.
Oh.
It was really cool, actually.
I really got Jesse with that.
And that was my last cell biology lab.
Hmm.
My TA is named Leo from Brazil. He's pretty cool. He's working on his PhD right now.
Nice.
The last time I'll ever see the man.
Have you ever had Rocky Mountain oysters before?
I haven't.
No.
I would want to
No.
though. I'm not against it.
I would.
You haven't?
I haven't.
No. We're all from Colorado. I haven't.
Nope.
Have you?
No.
I'm surprised you haven't.
I know, because we had fries back home, but I never had it when we were there.
Interesting.
Liz, I'm going to go pee, but I want you to get the headset experience.
Okay.
Give us a talking point, Boshi.
Why isn't breast milk available in stores?
Oh my god.
What about formula? Is that counted as like
No.
breast milk in stores?
No.
It's same components,
Nope.
same nutrient content, but just powdered.
Nope. From a woman.
I bet if you go to a really niche grocery store in like West Hollywood, there's probably breast milk.
You think so?
Like one of the like organic hippie like Earnway. It's like a it's like a niche like celebrity shop there, Whole Foods in California. And I bet if you find a place like that, there's probably breast milk.
I would think that it would not be put in stores. Me and Bosch talked about this. Oh, when was it? It was our first podcast that we did, like 2 days ago. And Bosch is really adamant that in the future, that there will probably be a source of breast milk in stores.
There
that you
probably
can
will
buy.
be. Honestly, it's like kind of surprising that there isn't. There's formula. You know, why isn't there breast milk? It's very easily. My sister, when she had her kid, she like didn't breastfeed initially, and she only like pumped out bags of milk, and then would just like pour these bags of milk into a bottle and just like warm it up and feed her child. And it's interesting that people don't sell that. You just bag her up. It's good for 2 years.
Really? She'd like actually like pump it out and then just like save it and then use it?
Yeah, I think most moms do that. Cuz like
Really?
initially also like you're like making so much that like you cannot possibly I think feed your child that much. And so they just save it in the freezer. And you
did
just
not
bag
know
her
that.
up for 2 years. And it's good.
Interesting.
So the fact that there's not breast milk in the stores is kind of surprising.
Right?
You can save it for 2 years. Just freeze a bag of boob milk.
Did you bring up the hazardous thing? Okay.
Why?
It's, what is it? It's categorized as
It's since it's a bodily fluid, it's categorized as hazmat or
hazardous.
hazard,
like blood.
What is it? Biohazard.
But do you ever think about how much the FDA allows blood and pus to be in cow milk? A lot.
This is true.
It's like 3 parts per million.
Or a certain
which is
amount
kind of a lot.
of dead cockroaches in coffee.
Really?
mixes.
Is that allowed?
That's a thing too. I have a total diversion. Is Huck, the clothing brand, becoming a new trend?
I have no idea what that brand is.
I've been seeing it more.
I've never seen
Like
it.
that chick right there has a sweatshirt, and when we were talking, there was another chick that walked by that had a long sleeve Huck on.
I think that's just
It's
it's like a fishing
It
brand.
used to be fishing wear, but now
Maybe there's just a lot of people in Colorado that like fishing.
maybe. But I'm seeing more girls, and Usually that's a guy
Maybe-
thing.
You're right. Maybe it's their boyfriends.
Isn't the headset kind of a cool thing?
It's kind of cool.
Right?
I feel kind of professional.
I can put 2 more in, and then I have the splitter, so we could have more headsets.
Grill Bosch. Ask him a very serious question.
Would that splitter be good to watch movies on an airplane? With like 6 people could put their headphones in.
Yes, you could. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be very good for that.
That's like the best splitter. You could watch. Everybody could be on the movie.
Oh yeah. I told you about the sorority girls, right?
Yes.
They were grilling us. They asked us about like drug stuff. They were from New Mexico,
Why?
and I guess New Mexico just legalized marijuana there,
That's kind of.
and so
They're behind the
it was on
times.
their mind. Well, now they got it legalized, so they're asking about fentanyl and
Oh.
all kinds.
Were
of
they
stuff.
like
It was
saying like,
serious.
is fentanyl in weed?
No, they were like, we have this big fentanyl epidemic, and so like, what's your take on that? And
Mac Miller
marijuana?
died. It's terrible.
Was he was
Rip Mac.
Rip Mac.
God, I miss him so
I think about him every day.
I really do.
Everyone
sometimes.
likes Angus Cloud off of Euphoria so much just because he looks like Mac Miller.
Angus Cloud.
Hmm. The actor on Euphoria named Fez. You don't even watch Euphoria?
Dude, I don't watch TV.
I haven't seen it either, but I still know who she's talking about.
He looks like Mac Miller.
He's a hunk.
He's a hunk.
He's a hunk. All right.
Angus Cloud could get it.
Ooh, here's a thought. We were thinking we'd set up here and maybe like the sorority chicks did, people would approach us, but nobody approached us.
It's very unapproachable. You got headphones on.
Right?
You have to make a sign.
Yeah.
You have to make a sign that
sign
just
I think
says,
would be good.
"Tell me literally anything." I bet you get some.
Or
fucking
come and talk.
No. Just tell me anything.
Tell me your secrets.
My favorite thing. We used to do
Secret
this
time.
freshman year. Everyone can come and like around dinner, we'd say like, recap your day. You can do a high and a low and a buffalo.
What's the buffalo?
And your high is like a good part of your day, right?
Yeah.
And a low is like a bad part of your day. And a buffalo is literally a random anything. You could say anything you wanted. Like, what's your high, low, and buffalo today?
We called those roses and thorns.
And then what?
Or
No. But then what's
rain
the
clouds and shitstorms.
But
we
then
also
what's your
called those.
then what's your buffalo?
We never had a buffalo.
You
That's
have
why I
to
was
have a
curious when you
buffalo.
said a buffalo.
That's the best part.
What's your rain cloud? Or no, what's your... What did I say? What was the cloud?
Rain cloud and thunderstorm.
Oh.
You
Well,
have
no,
to.
those are two of the same.
You
thing.
have to tell me your high and low and buffalo of today.
I would also like to know.
Low is that I talked to Jesse about this. My computer is now not up to date with the editing software I was using. So now I think I have to buy a totally new editing computer. So that's really blows. And that'd be a nice chunk of change, you know?
Yeah.
And then my high has been this podcast. This has been fun. I'm going to go climb after this, and I'm seeing a lady friend as well after this. So it's all
Highs.
upwards
All
from here.
up.
It's been good talking.
All up from the laptop debacle.
Jesse was like, what if nobody comes and talks to us? And I was like, then we just have a normal conversation. Like, no
But-
problem. So that was fun.
But most importantly, what is your buffalo?
And that's something just random?
Just anything. Like, how was your poop today?
Yeah, Bosch, how are your bears today?
I've been having
Or just anything.
cannonball poops. Dude, like, my run time in the bathroom is like sub 20 seconds. If
That's-
you don't count washing
That's
hands.
good.
I'm like,
Most men
it's not like
spend too long. You're gonna
That's
get.
because we're on our phones.
You're gonna no. You're gonna get an ulcer if you are on the toilet for more than 10 minutes. Your fucking anus is gonna just like fall out of your body.
it's been like a cannonball though. Literally.
That's good.
Like I go sit
It's
down.
so efficient.
The fuse is lit 3 seconds. Boom! In the toilet. Done. Sometimes I don't even have
That's
to
how they
wipe.
always
It's
are.
so clean.
For me,
All of yours are?
every single.
There is it
As-
like an explosion though?
No. It's just. It's just a consistent.
But it's quick.
Always fast.
It's not a steady stream, right?
Mm,
You know those times
well,
when you're sick and it's like you're peeing out of your butthole?
You mean diarrhea?
That was me when I had food poisoning.
I have IBS. Well, I did.
Oh.
It's stress induced.
I
Last
read a
semester
book
was very
that connects to that,
stressful,
actually.
and so sometimes it was like a stream. But lately, my bowels have been calm because I
I have a
don't
book
care
for
about
you
my
then.
grades anymore.
I have a book for you.
Okay.
It's called Let Them Eat Dirt.
Is it about eating mushrooms?
No, it's about the gut microbiome.
Oh yeah, I don't think I have a
Um,
healthy gut.
No,
I
that's
take
why like this would be good for you.
I take
actually.
probiotics every
Do you?
day. Little
Okay.
probiotic snack gummies.
But there's also fecal transfers.
Oh, I don't know if I'd be down for that.
I wouldn't be doing it.
No, I know.
Okay,
You
but like
just
a
get
colonoscopy
someone's
is one.
poop in you for
Kind of.
their healthy microbiome,
Kind of.
but I would be afraid to do that.
It can be really good because it could reset your microbiome,
Yeah.
and you'd be put under probably for
I'm
it.
on antibiotics right now. I'm just trying to flush it all out.
Okay.
Everything. I think my whole body is infested with bacteria. All of it.
The bad bacteria.
I think.
Hmm.
I'm taking fat antibiotics. They're like the size of my finger. Like to the first knuckle. They're huge.
They're one
They're
knuckler.
so huge. They're pink though.
They're pink though.
Makes
Not
me feel
blue
better.
and yellow
Every
like Mr.
morning.
Krabs pill.
Every morning I take my antibiotic and I'm about to throw up. Like it makes me, it's like so big that, you know, like how when you ask like old people or like little kids, you're like, can you take a pill?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel taking these antibiotics. It's like I feel like I can't. They make me a little scared. I'm like avoiding doing them.
Yeah.
I always take it after I brush my teeth. And I'm like, I think I'm about to throw up and ruin this toothbrush. Because it's just like, they're so big. It's like the size of my whole entire esophagus.
Do you have times where you forget to take your pill?
Yes.
Do you feel bad after?
Yes.
Yeah, like you can definitely tell a
No.
difference?
Oh, you mean physically bad? No, I just guilt my. I
Oh,
just
you
make
feel
myself,
shamed?
I feel ashamed. And then I look it up and I look up on Google. I'm like, if I missed my antibiotic, can I take it next? And they're
Yeah.
like, don't double up. Just take it the next time.
Mm.
It's taken me probably longer than it should to have finished this bottle of antibiotics.
Mm.
I'm on the last like 4 now. By 2
Mm.
days, I'll finish them.
Mm.
And if not, then you can shame me as well. I'll already be doing
I'm not
it.
gonna shame you.
Internally, I just internalize. I'm like, you fucking crazy bitch. You did not finish your antibiotics today. Or it's also like, I've been drinking a lot recently because of my birth and my birthday.
She's 21 now.
I am.
Let's go!
But I can't mix.
Happy birthdays in the chat.
I
please.
can't mix my antibiotics with alcohol. So I've just been purposefully skipping them instead of not drinking.
Well, can't you just take them in the morning?
Yeah, I'm supposed to take them twice a day.
Oh. Yeah.
But I don't think you're supposed to mix antibiotics and alcohol. So I just skip them and then continue drinking. It's more
Yeah,
important than my.
Don't do that.
It's
that
more.
bad?
It's more important than my
yes,
gut
that's
health.
bad.
What would it do?
You're gonna create a super bacteria
Yeah, pretty much.
that's antibiotic
That's
resistant.
That's one thing.
Oh.
What time is it? I have 5 minutes to go tutor.
Do you gotta get going?
I do.
Well.
Thank you for joining us today.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Insightful chats.
Jesse asked you the question, and so you get to pose another question to our next guest.
Okay.
So it can be literally anything you want that's going to be asked to the next person.
While
What
you're
would you like
thinking,
such a thing
I have
to
a
be?
question for you. How many holes does a straw have?
2.
It's 2. And my next question is, what kind of milkshake is the best?
All right. Yeah.
And I don't mean like your favorite. What's your favorite milkshake? I mean what's
Like the
what's
best
the
milkshake
best
of all time?
milkshake, yeah. That's what I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Here,
That's a good question.
Liz. Your name?
Everyone's talking about ice cream.
Yeah, food's been a trend.
That's what I think about 24/7.
Hmm.
What is today's date?
It is the
26th?
25th today.
26th.
Are you sure? It's 20. Yeah. You whore.
Special guest.
Do you want to finish her?
Sure.
Okay.
Garbage person.
Garbage man.
Garbage disposal.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us today.
That was 2.5 hours. Right around the 2-hour mark, we get a guest.
Let's go. Hey, yo, I'm about to hit my goals today.
Nice. Just try to make eye contact with somebody and bring them in.
Fucking kick ass.
Yeah. Subway's pretty solid. You know, it's some European spot. I think it's like Ireland or somewhere that doesn't consider Subway bread
Really?
because of the sugar content. They have like a lower stand or a different standard than what we have.
Like the regular just white bread?
All breads, or I think most breads from Subway.
Wow. Even the 12 grain?
I guess I didn't look into the details, but like most breads.
I would assume yeah for some of them, but other ones are actually pretty healthy.
It's
like
still-
well, I don't know. Definitely not 12 grain because that one's like healthy as shit.
Still blows me away that there's sugar in bread. Like I can't conceptualize that, even though I know it's true.
Well, there's not supposed to be, but happens.
Is that one of the additives?
Sugars?
Like, can you make bread without sugar?
Mhm.
Oh. But when you make bread rise, it's a fermentation process, right?
Yeast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't the yeast feed off the sugar that you put in it? So therefore there has to be sugar in bread?
It doesn't have to.
Oh.
I
What would you
don't
feed
think.
it? Because the yeast is a living thing. So I only know this because of the kombucha stuff. And you need it to feed off of the sugar and some other stuff that flavors it. So that's why I would assume you need a little bit of sugar in bread at the very least.
I don't know.
Maybe the additives are after the bread's already made, they put stuff in it.
Possibly.
I know it's not good for me. Dude, I have
Also, I can't eat in the microphone and you can. I see where I stand.
it's my
Bosh.
podcast, bitch.
All right, fair enough.
When you
Do they do milkshakes over there?
ditched me that one day and I got Panda Express by myself.
I also got Panda.
I think I supplanted that in your brain. Anyways, I had the blackest shit after that. Like it was
What'd you get?
bigger plate. I don't remember. It was like orange chicken, lo mein, maybe the teriyaki something and something else.
Interesting.
But it's just like that fast food, you know. That's not so great for you,
I
even
got-
though it tastes like heaven.
I got the honey walnut shrimp.
Oh, that's good.
and
They were out of
orange
that.
chicken with some lo mein. I thought about getting fried rice, but I went with lo mein this time.
Lo mein for life, dude.
Lo mein's good.
I want to make like eye contact with people. Somebody I find interesting.
You didn't answer my question.
What was your question?
Do they have milkshakes over there?
At Freddy's, I believe so.
I kind of want one, but I shouldn't have one. Maybe I'll just go get a naked at the market.
A milkshake? But you could use your Ram Cash.
Well, I can use my Ram Cash down there too.
That's true.
Plus, naked's healthy.
Is it though? Because doesn't that have added sugars as well?
Mm-mm.
It doesn't.
Well, the added sugars that are in there are just from fruit, which is natural sugar. So it's still not good for you because there's a lot of sugar in there, but it's natural.
What'd you say?
Ah, yeah, you can't hear me. Shit. Nothing. Nothing.
No. Why can't you say? Is that you?
What?
What's that noise?
What noise? Oh, the bell?
The
thing?
dings.
I don't know.
That wasn't you?
No. No, it was not. Is what I think of when a car drives by.
I feel like we need a third mic. Like I should make that spurge.
I can help.
I need to run my numbers. No, it's okay. I'm gonna run the numbers.
I can pitch in.
It's okay.
I can help you, Bob.
If you got that headset, I'll take that. But other than that,
I do. I can give you that. So I think I'm going to get a new one over the summer anyways. A Bluetooth one.
because I could have another mic in a week. We could have 3 people rocking.
We could get Hutch.
We could get Hitch in here. We could get anybody in here. That's the thing.
We could.
We've covered a lot of good stuff. I can't wait till I actually can cut this stuff up and have some nice little pieces.
Edit it.
Yeah. Because we'll put the long form stuff. I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but we'll put the long form stuff up, but then have a nice cut of the meat and potatoes that people can kind of choose from. It'll be a pretty solid little gig. I want to try to scale it, try to get professors on, people in the community, higher ups.
I could talk to some of my professors and ask.
Yeah, if you want to, if they're ever curious.
I bet my HES teacher probably would.
I have a big interest in hormesis. If there's ever a teacher that would be interested in that.
I could ask my BMS teacher.
I have a big interest in that. And I have a bunch of questions already written. Sure, if you want to.
I don't know if they would. My HES professor probably would, but other than that, I don't know if my other ones would.
It'd be cool. Yeah, I want to interview a lot of people. I'll be free Thursday. So if you have any, I will ask Hutch. If you have anybody that wants to just come on and talk.
Okay.
Yeah, this is an open platform to anybody. I need to throw new batteries in this bad boy.
Y'all ask Hutch. I don't know what he's doing this week, but he's probably got some assignments that he's got to get done too, but yeah, I'll let him know.
Oh shit, holy shit. We should end this.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Down here for 2 hours and 30 minutes?
Yeah, 2:30. That went fast. All right, Alyssa asked, what is the best milkshake?
That is a good question.
The questions have been, do you have a secret inkling of how you will die? Do you have a superpower that will match a skill? And would that superpower be? Ice cream in the winter or summer? Explain your reasoning.
I feel like for the first
This
one.
has gotten food. We got to end this.
Okay.
I got to get going.
You're right. You're right.
So, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.